cuts down the read. He's a very cerebral player, so he knows where he needs to deliver it with coverage.
Right back on the ball. And TJ Pledger met at the line of scrimmage, picks up 1. And Bahar didn't really get into a rhythm last week. He was barely over 100 yards passing. Wanted to get the ground game going here today to get more inside the box, and he has had a nice drop here. 5 out of 8 so far.
It's not a chunk run every time, Paul, but I do like the way that this offensive line has been impacting the game. They've been imposing their will on the Breakers' defensive front.
180. 180, son.
Back to the air. Little bit behind Peterson. Quite a bit behind. Incomplete. He did get one hand on it. Michael Stevens with the coverage.
We're going to go gun, red, right, stack, 25. Or gun, red, right, stack, 24, scan, Z, fluid, Y, basic. Gun, red, right, stack, 24, scan, Z, fluid, Y, basic.
Stack, 24, scan, Z, fluid, Y, basic. On, ready?
And for that tight end matchup, we'll see if it's Josh Peterson again.
Hey, down 8, Mike 20. Hey, Omaha! Ready, move!
3rd and 9, 6-man rush. They come underneath. Clint Sig had to go down to a slide to try and catch it incomplete, so a promising drive ends with a couple of incompletions.
And that time the Y was Clint Sig, who leaked out of the backfield late. Those 3rd and long scenarios are difficult for most offenses.
Gamblers did get just inside of Breakers territory, but Andrew Gallett's on to punt it away. Jerry Elder, defensive back to receive the punt. Short end-over-end punt near the far sideline there. Didn't quite make it to the 10-yard line. Houston's offense showed a little bit of life there, but a little over a minute left in the first quarter. Still no score in Birmingham.
Find out what channel your team is playing on by going to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Barbecue and football. On April 27th, join SiriusXM NFL Radio as coverage of the 2023 NFL Draft kicks off live from Kansas City.
With the first pick, the Carolina Panthers select
Pick-by-pick coverage of every round, instant analysis from our experts, and interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
I want to be the best ever, and I'm willing to do anything it takes.
Listen to the 2023 NFL Draft on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SXM app.
Correct. They have to be at least 3.
Don't miss the all-new Rise and Shine, a SiriusXM podcast.
This is Adam Shine. Every Wednesday morning, we're going to make you remember why you love sports. The crack of the bat, the smell of the grass, the thrill of a buzzer beater, the heroes, the underdogs, the moments you remember forever. Join me, Bob Stu, and the most interesting guests in sports for the all-new Rise and Shine.
Download Rise and Shine right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's SCHEIN.
Every MLS fan needs Sirius XM FC. You don't think about it, you just get it. All the top matches. Go LAFC! All the best analysis.
They have a goal scorer. They got a guy that's proven in this league that he can score goals.
All in one place.
remarkable, inexplicable, absolutely wonderful.
Your league, your station, Major League Soccer on Sirius XM FC 157 and on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
How do you get that going? You start backed up. That's hard to do. It's got to punch it out of there. You had a short, had a backed up punt. That's not how you want to start the game. And then with a 3 now, we just got to show up our protection.
All right. How do you make a better pass protection? How do you get that better?
Well, you just got to protect more people, and try to get the ball in the quarterback's hand.
Let you get back to it, Coach. Thank you, guys.
Lewis, Coach, thank you. Second week in a row, New Orleans off to a tough start offensively. They've run 6 plays for 10 total yards so far. They might get 10 right there out to the 20-yard line. And that's Wes Hills in for the first time this season. Brought down by Isaiah Pryor. Gain of 10.
Getting the football out of the quarterback's hands quickly would be key.
Protection, big issue in the first half last week as well, Anthony, when Bethel-Thompson was sacked 4 different times. And not once in the second half. Good cutback there. Wes Hills with the pass catch, and now the run up the middle picks up 4 yards. Defensive end
11,
Reggie
11,
Walker brings him down.
11. Let's go. Z short to gun, bunch left. 2-jet Tampa, X slant, halfback wide. Z short to gun, bunch left. 2-jet Tampa, X slant, halfback wide.
You can understand why it's difficult for quarterbacks to go from college to the professional level just because of the verbiage that you have to get out in the huddle. Quickly out of his hands, Sage Surratt, the top tight end. Another first down out to the 40-yard line. You mentioned getting the ball out quick would be a good idea. They might be paying attention.
But in those scenarios, especially on third down, when you have short yardage to go, that's where the crossing routes that we saw against man coverage can really free up your receiver to create the kind of space that they were able to exploit. Trying to chase out opposite colored jerseys all around the formation makes it really tough on the opposing defense.
Sage Surratt, all ACC wide receiver at Wake Forest, had one season there where he averaged over 100 yards per game.
Quarter.
After 1 quarter of play, the Houston Gamblers 0.
So the last time Houston had the ball was their best offensive possession, and John DiFilippo's offense as well for the Breakers, having their best go so far. 1 quarter in the books. No damage on the scoreboard. We head to the second beautiful afternoon in Birmingham, looking for our first score between the Breakers and the Gamblers.
This is former UFC champion Chris Weidman. You want to feel what it's like to get into the octagon with me? Right now, we are bringing you the hardest-hitting MMA talk on the planet with Won't Back Down, a SiriusXM podcast. Every Monday, I'm speaking my mind and taking you inside combat sports like no one else. Every tap, every snap, and whatever else is on my mind. Here, Won't Back Down Radio, Mondays at 5 Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, or download it right now on the SXM app. Available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Won't Back Down.
Hey, what's going on? This is your boy, Kevin Hart, and guess what? I've got my own channel on Sirius XM, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, channel 96. We play the best stand-up comedy from some of my favorite comedians, and I got my own show. It's called Straight From the Heart, and I host it with a bunch of unattractive friends of mine. They're called the Plastic Cup Boys. Every Tuesday and Thursday, real, raw, authentic conversation, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Laugh Out Loud Radio right here on Sirius XM, channel 96. Don't miss it.
3, 2, 1. Command is given. Crank them up.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track.
Cracker fly, baby. Yeah.
Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
it's the Geico 500 from Talladega Super Speedway.
And the green flag is in the air.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Hell yeah.
Listen to Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, and on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
Yeah, we did it.
Hi, everybody. Christopher Mad Dog Russo here. Familiar? You should be. Well, now you can catch Mad Dog's Daily Bite each day as a podcast, where you'll hear my thoughts and opinions on the biggest topics around the world of sports. NFL, baseball, golf, NBA, even the hockey. That you know you can count on. That's Mad Dog's Daily Bite. Drops daily anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can also hear me weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern on Mad Dog Unleashed, Sirius XM Channel 82, or anytime on the SXM app.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson and his Breakers on the move with the ball. We go to the other sidelines and find Lewis Johnson.
All right, Coach Curtis Johnson coming out of the sideline there. I saw you talking to the players over here. What's been the message as you guys move to the sixth quarter?
Just keep going. We just got to keep going, keep doing what we're doing. We're running the ball well. Quarterback just step up in the pocket a couple times and just hit the open guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, on this drive for New Orleans, McLeod Bethel-Thompson is hitting the open guys. They had 2 possessions heading into this drive where they had 10 total yards. Right now, this will be the 4th play of this drive. They picked up 25, so they are moving. It took them a while to get rolling last week as well. In a game they eventually won against Pittsburgh.
White 20!
Safety blitz on the way. Bethel-Thompson gets rid of it. A little bit too far out in front of Jay Adams.
You right there, Sage. I'll take you out of the backfield. You're good.
Outside linebacker TJ Tyler knocking Bethel-Thompson down.
Here we go, on the gold. Run trade right. Three jet. On the gold. Right. Gold. Three jet. Gold.
Bethel-Thompson coming off 2 excellent seasons in the CFL. Won the Grey Cup last season. Also led the league in passing. Another blitz. Gets rid of it quickly. Jay Adams has that one. Short gain. Ducks out of bounds on the 47-yard line. Gain of 6. Coverage provided by Nick Grant.
New Orleans has begun breaking the huddle a little more quickly. That's giving McLeod Bethel-Thompson an opportunity to survey the defense before getting the ball snapped.
Third down 4 coming up. The Breakers right now 2 out of 4 on third down.
Go ahead.
Empty backfield. They get 5 out. Quickly to Surratt. Stretches out to the 47-yard line. Enough for a first down. Breakers now operating inside of Houston territory.
See more motion here from their offense, Paul. That's allowing McLeod Bethel-Thompson, the Breakers, to dictate terms to the opposing defense. They went to an empty set. And with that, now you're trying to put the linebacker in conflict. Made it really difficult on Isaiah to get out there to the curl route.
West Hills, 50-45, picking up steam across the 35-yard line. Excellent job by the left side of that offensive line. Manny Bunch eventually made the tackle, but the Breakers get 12 yards.
West Hills goes about 220 pounds. Those legs were turning. Now some tempo from the Breakers.
2018 school record, 1,700 rushing yards at Slippery Rock. Play action to him. Bethel-Thompson on the move and on the money inside the 25-yard line to D. Anderson. Gain of 10.5 ought to be enough for a first down.
Gotcha. Hey, 12. Hey, deep right slot, 98 horn. Deep right slot, 98 horn. Deep right slot, 98 horn.
Deep right slot, 98 horn. I'm gonna...
You hear 12, Anthony. What's that say to you?
12. Well, deep right slot, 98 horn. There's no 12 in that play call, but on the 98 horn, you're going to see an in cut coming from the slot receiver here.
12 should be one running back and a pair of tight ends. West Hills right up the middle. Strong finish to get inside the 20.
Force, punch to the 3 tech. Okay, flank left, 97 punch. Kill, 99 force.
Flank left.
Got it.
Kill, 99 force.
Love the way they're varying tempo, Paul. There was a little bit of hurry up earlier in the series. Now they've gone back to a huddle look. All the motion throwing the defense off.
West Hills again cuts it out to the left side. Likes what he sees. 10, 5. Touchdown Breakers. 19-yard touchdown run for West Hills. And New Orleans leads 6-0.
19-yard touchdown run by number 31 and West Hills.
That run game for the Breakers did not get going in the game last week. We've seen them more committed to it this week. Paul Adams pulling out into the open field after the edge was set by Kirk Kelly. And West Hills continues turning those legs across the paint.
Had the vision where he saw something out to the left.
We need no linemen.
Oh, shit.
And the Breakers were one short there. Now they hustle it out. Matt Coughlin was a star last week, made all 5 of his field goals. Extra point is up and through. Well, the Breakers were nearly 70% pass in their win last week, but that drive was more about the run. Good mix. But in the end, West Hills spins his way into the end zone. 2019, he scored 2 touchdowns with the Lions in the NFL. He scores the first one of this day.
Nobody brings you the excitement of Formula One racing like SiriusXM. Let's go, come on! Hear every thrilling lap of a worldwide championship chase.
Verstappen takes the lead in the Grand Prix, and Hamilton couldn't hold him off.
Comprehensive pre- and post-race coverage.
That was the best race I've ever seen.
And a weekly insider look at the F1 circuit every Wednesday on SXM Wheel to Wheel.
There's been plenty going on both on and off track.
The 2023 Formula One season on SiriusXM Channel 81 and the SXM app.
Who will punch their ticket to the FA Cup final? Find out on SiriusXM FC.
Rashford is in here for two! And it is two!
Manchester United are a win away from their 21st appearance in the final. The Cinderella story Brighton have their hopes set on a fairy tale ending.
Mitoma will shoot and find the net! Brighton have surely won it!
It's the FA Cup semi-final. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Saturday night is MLS night on Sirius XM FC. Doubleheader coverage begins with Nashville hosting defending champion LAFC.
And goal! It's the line on the back post! Are you kidding me?
Then Western Conference challengers square off when Seattle meets Minnesota.
It's Jordan Morris! It's so good from the Sounders!
It's an MLS doubleheader tonight at 8 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Hey, this is Danny Cannell. Go inside the locker room with me and my guy, Dusty Dvorak, on Dog Days with Dusty and Danny, weekdays at noon Eastern, only on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
We'll take on the Pittsburgh Maulers. The USFL is back tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern on NBC and also on Peacock. New Orleans Breakers have a win. They're 1-0 on this season. Houston's 0-1. They just recorded a first, though, Anthony. Their first half touchdown, Wes Hills. Little nifty spin into the end zone. McLeod Bethel-Thompson saw a nice mix of the run and the pass on that drive. 42 yards on the ground, 43 yards in the air, and the Breakers are up 7.
Football blows off the tee. Breezy day in Birmingham, but MBT told us when we talked to him during the week that he really felt like with the verbiage, a lot of different formations and personnel groupings they do, that the second half last week they began to found a rhythm that he felt like they would build off of today. Certainly seems that way so far for the Breakers.
17 out of 22 in the second half and the game-winning drive as well. Matt Conklin to Anthony Ratliff-Williams from his own 7. Not touched as he gets to the 40, cuts it back. That's why you like kickoffs in the USFL. Gamblers down 7. They will begin inside of New Orleans territory. A return of 45 yards.
Another opportunity with outstanding field position for the Houston Gamblers to start their series off. Anthony Ratliff-Williams extremely dangerous with the football in his hands. They haven't gotten into him as much as a wide receiver, but this return game might be able to spark something for Houston.
Breakers defense has some things going for it coming into the season. They returned their defensive coordinator, John Tenuta. Also their top 2 tacklers from last year, their linebackers, Fernandez and Diggs. Bahar, nice pocket, slings it out to the 40 and reaching out to the 37-yard line. Josh Peterson, his second catch, good for 8 yards.
A big day for Josh Peterson. The tight end position in general, I would imagine, Clint Sig, Brandon Barnes, they dress several tight ends. They'll get their opportunities.
Hey, let's go. 30, hey, 323, F Lucy, on one. Ready? Watch it. Walk.
Kenji Bahar off for his 6 for 11 start through the air. Still waiting for him to carry it for the first time.
180. Come on.
They were going to look to feature TJ Pledger
I couldn't hear
in that play.
I caught a fix left. I caught it out of fix left. I said I caught I couldn't hear him. I caught it out of fix left. Supposed to be something. Tell him I can't hear him though. He said he can't. You can hear him now? Go. It's fixed. Go.
Gun fix right, 352, Y stick, F Lucy.
Go. And we're going to gun fix right, 352, Y stick, F Lucy.
Fix right,
on one.
352, Y stick, F Lucy.
So he made reference to his offensive coordinator in the booth. We just saw him there, Eric Price. He has a nice relationship with head coach Curtis Johnson. They were together at Tulane 2012 to 16 when Price was the offensive coordinator and Johnson was the head coach.
Ready?
Stick route will operate just beyond the sticks from the tight end. That's the Y position.
Good call, and on the money out to the 30-yard line to Justin Hall. Gain of 9.
Being ahead of the chains for an offense makes all the difference in the world. Your entire playbook is open to you. Flanker position, Lapirian frame coming from the left. Get that one-on-one matchup. Nice, easy completion on the slant route.
We're listening to the communication between the quarterback and offensive coordinator. Keep in mind, in the NFL, that communication is shut off 15 seconds before the snap. They can talk all the way up to the snap here in the USFL. Back to the ground, struck right as he got across the 30-yard line. TJ Pledger, leading rusher last week. Gains 2, get most of the carries this week without Mark Thompson for the second week in a row. TJ Pledger, 3 seasons at Oklahoma. His last one at Utah was his best in college football, where he had 4 100-yard games 2 seasons ago. Pledger, a little hesitation, never really found what he was looking for. Stopped at the 26-yard line, gain of 2. And that'll bring him 3rd down and about 7.
I referenced data points earlier, Paul. When they rotate Terry Wilson into the game at quarterback, as they did on the last snap again, at some point, off that Nets point, I'm sure Eric Price had the play call for a pop pass from the QB.
Yeah. Hey,
Lakers just put together their first scoring drive. Gamblers trying to respond. Bahar out of a nice pocket. Nobody home at the pylon. Kiki Chisholm was the wideout to his left, Anthony. He was thinking short, and Bahar was thinking long.
There's communication. You could tell how eager Kenji Bahar was, because he could tell he read man coverage on the back end, knew the matchups would be there on the outside. So Bahar goes into attack mode, but it's a side adjustment. And one thing that New Orleans has done really well, John Tenuta has his coverage rolling late, sometimes showing 2 deep safeties, rolling to cover 1. That was what they did there.
Nick Vogel 0 for 1. This is middle of the field from 44 yards. Distance, not an issue. Accuracy, no problem as well. Both teams are on the board. Breakers have a touchdown run. Houston has a 44-yard field goal, and it's 7-3.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ear.
We take you behind the scenes and give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And wake up with a laugh. What a Joke with Tom Papa at Fortune Feaster.
This is the place for you, my friend.
You never know who'll stop by. Netflix is a Joke Radio only on Sirius XM, Channel 93, and on the SXM app.
For hockey players, the Stanley Cup playoffs are a chance to turn a childhood dream into reality.
The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions!
For hockey fans, the Stanley Cup playoffs are...
The net was wide open! It's a power play goal! Back in, he scores! What a save! Another breakaway!
Hear every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sirius XM and your hometown announcers on the SXM app. Talk about it all on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. The NBA playoffs are on Sirius XM.
Are you kidding me?
Where all stars become superstars.
There is no answer for Giannis.
Superstars become legends.
You're Steph Curry, and you can make the amazing seem ordinary.
And legends become immortals.
LeBron has brought the crowd to its feet.
Check out the SXM app for every playoff game, your hometown announcers, and nonstop basketball talk on Sirius XM NBA Radio.
Kenji Bahar and the Gamblers just put together their first scoring drive. It ends with a long field goal, and they trail 7-3. Paul Burmeister, Anthony Herron in the booth, Lewis Johnson on the sideline. Beautiful afternoon here in Birmingham as we kick off week 2 of the USFL season. Johnny Dixon makes it out to the 33-yard line. And that's where McLeod Bethel-Thompson, 34-year-old quarterback for the Breakers, will begin after a gain or a return of 18 yards. Week 1, they didn't run the ball very well. As you can see, they averaged less than 3 yards per carry. Anthony, much different story here this afternoon. Over 7 yards per carry. And their one touchdown was a touchdown run from West Hills.
Offensive line working well in unison, but also the varying of tempos, getting in and out of the huddle quickly so their experienced quarterback can survey the defense and get them in the right play.
West Hills, the tailback, play action to him. And wide open at the 30, little room to run for Sage Surratt, his third catch. Out to the 42-yard line, about a half a yard short of the first down.
And Paul, what we're seeing here, it used to be one of the most difficult things about facing Peyton Manning and the Colts offense. You don't have to be a great runner as a quarterback to be able to keep the opposing pass rush off balance. Show the play action, bootleg out. You just have to be able to move enough where the launch point varies. That's an adjustment New Orleans has made that's been really effective against the Gamblers pass rush.
General Manager Ryan Jones, first-time GM. Head coach John DiFilippo, first time in that position. They go to the ground game and struck at the 42-yard line. Short gain to see if he got enough for a first down. Needed a little more than one, and that's what he got to go first down. So you've got the head coach, GM, quarterback triumvirate. Important on every single team. John DiFilippo coached on the offensive side of the ball with the Giants in 2006. Ryan Jones was a scout. Now he's the GM. They're, for the first time in their careers, in their positions. They said, we can't have a rookie quarterback, too. The one they wanted was McLeod Bethel-Thompson. They made the call. Thankfully, he wanted to come down. And that's the veteran piece of the head coach, GM, quarterback. Sets up. Wants to go deep, but comes underneath inaccurately. And he missed West Hills.
Surprising miss from McLeod Bethel-Thompson, where he certainly got into rhythm in this game, but there were decisions, there were options that McLeod Bethel-Thompson had. He was the CFL's leading passer, led his team to a championship.
Hey, let's go hop the gun dice right, two jet, wide bingo, both hands, halfback first.
Here's a hop, gun dice right, two jet, wide bingo, both hands, halfback first. All right, hop, hop, hop.
John DiFilippo and McLeod Bethel-Thompson developed a relationship in Philadelphia. DiFilippo was quarterback coach in 2016, and McLeod Bethel-Thompson was with him in training camp. Timing pass, and missing wide to the left to Jay Adams.
Was hoping for the opportunity as West Hills came out of the backfield with a late release. Maybe he could have hit the running back out of the backfield.
You got salsa.
Son, God, do you think he threw that early, Doc?
You heard Flip ask, did he throw it early? He did. McLeod Bethel-Thompson threw it a bit early the previous snap.
Third down and 10, in trouble. Escapes. Got some work to do across the 50. Leaps out near the sticks, and the ball came out. And the referee saying he was down at the 48-yard line after a gain of 9. Be about a yard short. Here comes decision time for John DiFilippo.
Hey, 12 heavy west, 12 heavy west, 12 heavy west. Hey, gun twins right classy, 34 strong tear on the speed break. Speed break, speed break, speed break. Gun twins right classy, 34 strong tear on the speed break.
Gun twins right, 34 strong tear on the speed break.
So you're going to see them operate from the shotgun, but the ball should come out quickly just beyond the first down mark.
Fourth and a yard, West Hills. No issues at all out to the 43. First down, New Orleans.
11.
It's a back-to-back weeks, Paul, where McLeod Bethel-Thompson has been leaping to try and pick up first downs.
Naked left. Here we go. Out of the gun. Here we go.
Wristband 4. You got a gun dice right. Whoa. Step. Fake 38, naked left, wide slide, F sail. Over.
I love the naked left. Quarterback's keeping it. See if he has a good play action. Sage Surratt by himself at the 40. Breaks toward the sideline, cuts it back. Now he was whistled out of bounds. Good call, good execution, bring it at 12.
11. Hey, let's take a shot here, bud, okay? Hey, let's go gun, bonus right, 3-jet salsa, Congo pump, that's wrap. Gun, bonus right, 3-jet salsa, Congo pump, that's wrap.
Take a shot.
Back. He's back. Okay.
Tight end Sage Surratt, 5 catches last week, already has 4.
So they're hoping from the bunch formation, they'll be able to dictate with their formation to get a shot play.
Retreating off his back foot. There's the 5th catch for Surratt. Good cutback. And an excellent finish out to the 20-yard line. Back-to-back first down receptions for the former All-ACC wide receiver. That one good for 11.
One technique, okay? Goose right, 94 strong, still over. Hey, goose right.
That's where the pass rusher gets frustrated because you get a good rush, get near the quarterback, and know you've affected the pocket. But Reggie Walker, even that pass rush heat, wasn't able to stop McLeod Bethel-Thompson from getting yet another pass to Sage Surratt.
One of the benefits of a veteran quarterback, when he starts slow, you expect him to come back. He was 0 for 3, and he's 8 for his last 11. Nice job by the Gamblers' run defense there. Anthony Jones pushed backwards. Reggie Walker was there first.
As the drive has extended here, you can tell the defense getting a bit more time, but they're really doing an effective job, still controlling the line of scrimmage at the point of attack.
Sage Surratt, 5 catches for 56 yards, split out wide to the left, just behind the 20-yard line. And he comes in short motion. Bethel-Thompson out of his hands quickly. Surratt again, hesitation to the 10. It'll be first and goal breakers at the 7-yard line after a gain of 11 yards. Surratt brought down by a pair of safeties, Rutledge and Surratt.
Makes tough duty on the defense because Sage Surratt, they've been able to line him up all over the formation. That time they had him in the slot, just ran a quick drag route. It's difficult for the linebackers to stay with him. Here's an all-ACC performer for Wake Forest as a wide receiver.
We've hit the 2-minute warning. The Breakers are close to making it back-to-back touchdown drives. They lead 7-3.
Okay, so I'm going to run it here.
The biggest stars in the world of women's soccer play in the NWSL, and you can hear them in action all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Thompson, so positive, and she scored!
Number 1 overall pick, Alyssa Thompson, leads Angel City against Alex Morgan and the San Diego Wave.
Morgan rips a shot, and we're level.
It's the NWSL Game of the Week, Angel City versus San Diego, tomorrow on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the SXM app.
The match that could decide the Premier League title is here.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
And you can hear all the drama on Sirius XM FC.
Martinelli has given Arsenal the early lead.
The Gunners have held the top spot for most of the year, but Man City's late season surge has them on Arsenal's heels.
De Bruyne towards Haaland at the far post, and he scored again.
Man City versus Arsenal, Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
SiriusXM has your tickets to the most in-demand tour of the year.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
Win a trip for you and 2 friends to live the VIP suite life for the Eras Tour.
When I walk in the room, I can still make the whole place shimmer.
Enter for your chance to win by finding and solving hidden riddles in the SXM app. For rules and your first clue, go to SiriusXM.com/Taylor Swift by May 7th. No purchase necessary. Must be a U.S. resident and at least 18 to enter.
Breakers quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson told us on Thursday that he started playing well in week 1 of the second half when he just took the easiest throw the defense was giving him. For a quarterback, that often means locating your tight end. And Sage Surratt already has 6 catches for 67 yards.
Huge half for Surratt. Also the running backs, Wes Hill, Anthony Jones, have both been involved in the passing game as well. So even though this opposing defense, the pass rush for the Gamblers probably feels like they're winning some of their one-on-one rushes. But even if you get home, the quarterback like MBT still getting the ball out of his hands.
Lewis.
Yeah, I was just talking to Sage Surratt as he was backing his way back over to the sideline, and he said, listen, the defense for Houston is kind of laying off a bit, so those underneath throws are available, and that's why he thinks he's had so many catches. Now, they do have him off kind of on a pitch count because he looks kind of worn out and tired in his heat, but he'll be back out soon.
They call timeout.
Timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. When we come back, it'll be 1st and goal, Breakers from the 7-yard line.
He's just ornery. I get in his spot.
There's a new show coming to Sirius XM FC channel 157. It's Played In with me, Heather O'Reilly, and my former teammate, Lori Lindsay.
We played in the World Cup, we played in the NWSL, and now we're playing on Sirius XM.
Women's soccer has never been more popular.
From the national team to the NWSL and more, you'll hear our perspectives on the biggest stories in soccer.
It's Played In with Heather O'Reilly and Lori Lindsay, Monday nights at 7 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Barbecue and football. On April 27th, join SiriusXM NFL Radio as coverage of the 2023 NFL Draft kicks off live from Kansas City.
With the first pick, the Carolina Panthers select
Pick-by-pick coverage of every round, instant analysis from our experts, and interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
I want to be the best ever, and I'm willing to do anything it takes.
Listen to the 2023 NFL Draft on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SXM app.
Don't miss the all-new Rise and Shine, a SiriusXM podcast.
This is Adam Shine. Every Wednesday morning, we're going to make you remember why you love sports. The crack of the bat, the smell of the grass, the thrill of a buzzer beater, the heroes, the underdogs, the moments you remember forever. Join me, Bob Stu, and the most interesting guests in sports for the all-new Rise and Shine.
Download Rise and Shine right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's SCHEIN.
Getting close to halftime, 2 minutes away here in Birmingham. And coming up, we'll have interviews with both of the head coaches, the Arby's play of the half, and we'll take a listen into all the great access we have on the sideline and the field here in the USFL season. Wes Hill's the tailback to the left of McLeod Bethel-Thompson. He scored the first and only touchdown of this game to end the last drive for New Orleans.
Soko.
He's averaging 7 yards per carry. See if he can get 7 here. Hesitation at the 5 and doesn't make it any further. Outside linebacker TJ Tyler brings him down.
Part of that chess match once you get here to this area of the field. Inside 2 minutes to go. The clock management changes a little bit. You can tell John DeFilippo wanting to make sure he's going to leave the opponent the least amount of clock available for them to try and answer with a score before halftime.
Lewis Johnson made mention that Sage Surratt, the top receiver, was out. He is now in, lined up to the left, rolling out to the right. Pumping, thinking, and just throwing that one away. Good coverage by the Gamblers. Brings up 3rd down and goal.
Even going back to last season, Houston's been an effective red zone defense. McLeod Bethel-Thompson not taking any big risks here as he extended the play laterally. On the back end, and the back judge even ends up throwing the hat on the ground, indicating the receiver ran out the back of the end zone. See him throw that hat down over there.
And the Breakers called timeout.
Guys, they can't hear me, guys. Where is the headset guy? Okay, 3rd and goal. Hey. Hey, you like the Rubber Mario?
Yeah. What one you just called? Either one.
What's that?
One you just called is great too.
I was calling the Rubber Mario. That's what I was calling the Rubber Mario.
So you called
66. 66.
Oh, all right.
66. Let's go 66. We spent 6-6. Here we go.
Love it when the head coach asks the quarterback what he likes.
And I wonder how many times this season there's going to be a coach yelling, "Where's the headset guy?"
Right out front, F-Disco, 53, Rubber Mario. Right, long motion, gotta go. Grizz right out front.
Yeah, right.
Going right, you're going right.
Not Super Mario, just Mario.
Told us the first veteran quarterback he could have conversations with, Carson Palmer,
with
Oakland back in 2012. Bumping. What a one-handed catch there by Jones, but brought down right away on the 10-yard line. Inaccurate throw leads to a loss of 4.
Hey, JD, the pop.
And an easy decision now to go for a field goal.
And Reggie Walker penetrating up into the backfield the way he did, it actually knocked Anthony Jones off of his wheel route where he was trying to swing out of the backfield. That gave the additional time that was necessary to get Deion Lake in position for the tackle.
Excellent work there by Deion Lake. Brings out Matt Coughlin. You see right there, he was a star last week, made all 5 of his field goals, longest one from 52 yards out. This one plausibly a little bit easier from the left hash from 27 yards out.
An exceptional career for the Michigan State Spartans as well.
All-time leading scorer in East Lansing. So Wes Hills has a touchdown run for New Orleans earlier in the second quarter. Try to tack on a Coughlin field goal. Low line drive counts for 3 points. Consecutive scoring drives for New Orleans to put them up 10-3. McLeod Bethel-Thompson takes a rest. We'll see what Kenji Bahar can do on the other side.
Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Kevin Hart, and guess what? I've got my own channel on Sirius XM, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, channel 96. We play the best stand-up comedy from some of my favorite comedians, and I got my own show. It's called Straight From the Heart, and I host it with a bunch of unattractive friends of mine. They call the Planet the Cup Boys. Every Tuesday and Thursday, real, raw, authentic conversation, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Laugh Out Loud Radio right here on Sirius XM, channel 96. Don't miss it.
3, 2, 1. Command has been given. Crank them up.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track.
Check the flag, baby. Yeah.
Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
it's the Geico 500 from Talladega Super Speedway.
And the green flag is in the air.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Hell yeah.
Listen to Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90, and on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
Yeah, we did it.
Hi, everybody. Christopher Mad Dog Russo here. Familiar? You should be. Well, now you can catch Mad Dog's Daily Bite each day as a podcast, where you'll hear my thoughts and opinions on the biggest topics around the world of sports. NFL, baseball, golf, NBA, even the hockey. That you know you can count on. That's Mad Dog's Daily Bite. Drops daily anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can also hear me weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern on Mad Dog Unleashed, Sirius XM Channel 82, or anytime on the SXM app.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson, just like last week, sensing his offense getting better as the game gets longer. Consecutive scoring drives. The last one ended in field goal. The one before with a touchdown. He's 10 out of 17 for 84 yards. And, Anthony, he has really benefited from a running game that's been more than just a distant supplement this week.
They're keeping the opposing defense off balance. You know, the variety that this playbook is throwing at the Gamblers right now, where initially it seemed like Chris Wilson, the defensive coordinator, had a good bead on New Orleans offense. Not so much anymore.
Deontez Alexander from the 15. Not touched till he gets to the 40 and makes it out to the 42-yard line. You saw Lewis Johnson sitting down there next to McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Lewis, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm getting a little lesson here on the tablet as you go through this. Let's talk quickly about the first half. What do you like about the way your team kind of got things going with tempo and, of course, the run game?
Yeah, what we love is the run game is moving the ball. I mean, that's beautiful to see. Wes is running the heck out of the ball, and we're starting to get some feel up front. So that's always a quarterback's dream, is to have a good run game. So that's exciting to see. We need to finish that last drive right there. That 3 points is just not enough right there. We're just this close away. You know, again, I think maybe a better start than last week, but still not where we want to be, man. We want to push it. We're really close to being a dominant offense, and just those little details. So we're going to keep working.
What were you seeing that made the tight end, Sage Surratt, become so available to you for those multiple catches?
You know, they're playing a lot of single high right now. They're playing a lot of man, so we're outflanking them in the flat. So Sage just does such a good job of getting out and knowing where he's at in space. So we're outflanking their defense right now. Their linebackers and safeties are getting caught inside. So he's a heck of a football player, so happy to get him going.
And what are you looking at here?
This is just the last drive, so I'm just going through the last drive. I missed 2 throws early in that drive. It was disappointing, so just kind of learning from those and moving on and hopefully dialing up something here, maybe get the ball before half's out here.
Yeah, a few seconds left. McLeod, thanks, man.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Guys.
Kenji Bahar has the Gamblers offense on the move. That was a strike to Justin Hall. And just like that, it's first down and 10 to the 25-yard line. Bahar looking left, firing that way. Open receiver, perfectly placed Touchdown, Justin Hall. Now the drive, Kenji Bahar. 3 out of 3 leads to 6 for Houston.
Kenji Bahar can be a bit streaky, but when he's on, he is on. They set the drive up with an easy completion early, and now you go to the slot fade. Justin Hall able to defeat the coverage of Michael Stevens one-on-one. Bahar drops it in the bucket. Couldn't have gone out and handed it to him any more accurately.
His head coach, Curtis Johnson, told us during the week, he does a good job of making the right decisions, getting us in the right formations, just need to be a little bit more accurate. He couldn't have thrown that ball any better. Nick Fogel makes it a 7-point drive and makes it a tie game at 10. What a response by Houston.
It's my anticipation, Paul, that a player like Kenji Bahar in his second year in this league, he's got multiple offensive linemen, multiple wide receivers that he's now playing with for the second season in a row. And so you'll just see offense around the USFL continue to grow this year as players are getting more accustomed to each other, as play callers are figuring out what exactly are the strengths of the team they're working with.
Justin Hall with that touchdown, and his resume is a perfect example of what we have at playmaker in the USFL. All-time leading receiver at Ball State. Spent time with the Las Vegas Raiders in camp. And just couldn't quite make it, and looking for an outlet for the talent and the experience, and as they say, to put something on film. Nice thing to have on film right there.
You and I have obviously called so many games, so many seasons over the years. There are countless talented football players available to continue honing their craft. There are only so many jobs in the National Football League out of the 32 teams. So that's where the USFL is special, giving opportunities for these players to continue to be special.
They get a wide receivers, Johnny Dixon from Ohio State from his own 14. Breaks one tackle and couldn't make it out to the right side. Goes down middle of the field at the 36-yard line. All tied at 10. McLeod Bethel-Thompson was just talking to Lewis. Now we'll see if he can lead his offense to one more scoring drive.
He did tell Lewis he was hoping they would get one more drive. Here we go.
Hey, let's go gun. Chips right. Let's go 3 chip. Gun trio right.
Gun trio right. Gun trio right. 3 catch chip. Hammerhead. All right.
Has 2 timeouts left. Had an 0 for 3 start to this game. Has completed 10 out of his last 14.
What's that?
Nice pocket. Surratt, 7th catch. Ripped down at the 44-yard line. And they use one of their 2 timeouts. Kalen Tolson with a tackle after a gain of 7.
They've been utilizing that trips formation, Paul, mainly to the field side. Okay, Sage Surratt's been really effective in his release, showing a little bit of patience, delaying before he comes off the ball.
One left. Hey, let's go gun trailer left. Okay, gun trailer left. Let's go T-Jet. Sail, X-Wrap. Gun trailer left. Salsa, sail, X-Wrap.
Gun trailer left. You get salsa, sail, X-Wrap. All right.
I hear sail, Anthony. That's one of these receivers at about 15 yards from one side of the field to the
next. And there'll be a route shorter than that as well, a levels concept to the wide side of the field.
In trouble, and down he goes. Bethel-Thompson sacked at the 30-yard line. Ron Hain Bingham, loss of 13. Clock ticking.
Go to the half. Here we go.
Probably the right call.
Don't have to wonder when you can hear the coach give the instructions to the sideline.
Exceptional pass rush from Ron Hain Bingham. That inside pass rush move has been really effective for him in the first half. Gets that offensive tackle on an island. Able to finish with a little ferocity at MBT. There was actually salsa in the play call, and he did a little salsa dance afterwards.
Anthony, they were just warming up in that first quarter. For scoring, for salsa-ing in that second quarter, that's when we saw all 20 points. What a finish for Kenji Bahar and Justin Hall to make this 10-10 at halftime. This is week 2 of the USFL season.
No Nobody brings you the excitement of Formula One racing like SiriusXM. Let's go, come on! Hear every thrilling lap of a worldwide championship chase.
Verstappen takes the lead in the Grand Prix, and Hamilton couldn't hold him off.
Comprehensive pre- and post-race coverage.
That was the best race I've ever seen.
And a weekly insider look at the F1 circuit every Wednesday on SXM Wheel to Wheel.
There's been plenty going on both on and off track.
The 2023 Formula One season on SiriusXM Channel 81 and the SXM app.
Who will punch their ticket to the FA Cup final? Find out on SiriusXM FC.
Rashford is in here for two! And it is two!
Manchester United are a win away from their 21st appearance in the final. The Cinderella story Brighton have their hopes set on a fairy tale ending.
Mitoma will shoot and find the net! Brighton have surely won it!
It's the FA Cup semi-final. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Saturday night is MLS night on Sirius XM FC. Doubleheader coverage begins with Nashville hosting defending champion LAFC.
And ball! It's the line on the back post! Are you kidding me?
Then Western Conference challengers square off when Seattle meets Minnesota.
It's Jordan Morris! It's so good from the Sounders!
It's an MLS doubleheader tonight at 8 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears.
We take you behind the scenes and give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And wake up with a laugh. What a Joke with Tom Papa at Fortune Feaster.
This is the place for you, my friend.
You never know who'll stop by. Netflix is a Joke Radio only on Sirius XM, Channel 93, and on the SXM app.
For hockey players, the Stanley Cup playoffs are a chance to turn a childhood dream into reality.
The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions!
For hockey fans, the Stanley Cup playoffs are...
The net was wide open! It's a power play goal! Back in, he scores! What a save! Another breakaway!
Hear every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sirius XM and your hometown announcers on the SXM app. Talk about it all on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Will spin into the end zone, and that's how the scoring got started. Locked up at 10 at halftime. Head coach of the Breakers is John DeFilippo, and here he is with Lewis Johnson.
Well, Coach, it looked like the use of offensive tempo really kind of changed the direction of this first half. What else did you see here?
Yeah, I mean, we just got to finish in the red zone. I mean, we went 1 for 2 in the red zone. It was a shame, first and goal at the 7. We couldn't punch it in there. We just got to be better down there, and this game's probably a little different.
Why do you think your tight end Sage Surratt was doing so well and having so many catches?
He's doing a great job getting open. They have a hard time. He's a really good player. They have a hard time covering him in man coverage.
Defensively, what do you want to see out of your team?
Just keep playing fast, keep playing hard. Love to see a turnover here coming up in the second half. Love to see us take the ball away.
All right, Coach, thank you.
And with that, we welcome you back to Birmingham. Welcome inside the broadcast booth. Paul Burmeister alongside Anthony Herron. First quarter had its moments, but the second quarter really provided some highlights. What's your headline from that first half?
Both quarterbacks were under a good bit of duress in the first half of the game, and I really liked what they began to do, especially we saw from New Orleans, start to vary the tempo, get in and out of the huddle with a little more quickness. And then we even saw on the opposing sideline start to get some easy completions for Kenzie Bahar.
Easier completions for both sides. The second quarter really provided a number of options for the Arby's play of that first half.
And I would say the one that really got things back into the game for Houston was that very last touchdown pass. The earlier part of the drive began with an easy completion, but then here, a strike play from Kenzie Bahar to Justin Hall right there inside the front pylon, nearly 32 air yards as Bahar completes this pass. It was quite a response from Houston trying to answer what they had seen from New Orleans on the previous series.
Houston went the entire second half last week without scoring a touchdown, 20-0, but Kenzie Bahar comes alive in that second quarter, and that was the highlight for him, that strike inside of the final minute until halftime. Take a listen to the on-the-field access from both sides when we come back to Birmingham.
The NBA playoffs are on Sirius XM.
Are you kidding me?
Where all stars become superstars.
There is no answer for Giannis.
Superstars become legends.
Here's Steph Curry, and you can make the amazing seem ordinary.
And legends become immortals.
LeBron has brought the crowd to its feet.
Check out the SXM app for every playoff game, your hometown announcers, and nonstop basketball talk on Sirius XM NBA Radio.
The biggest stars in the world of women's soccer play in the NWSL, and you can hear them in action all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Thompson, so positive, and she scored!
Number 1 overall pick, Alyssa Thompson, leads Angel City against Alex Morgan and the San Diego Wave.
Morgan rips a shot, and we're level.
It's the NWSL Game of the Week, Angel City versus San Diego, tomorrow on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the SXM app.
Weekend in the USFL, game 1, all tied at halftime between New Orleans and Houston. Here's what we're looking forward to the rest of the week, including on NBC tomorrow, New Jersey and Pittsburgh. One of the things that makes this league so fun is all the access to the sound on the field. Here's the best of the best from the first half.
Y'all hands don't work, y'all hands don't work, y'all hands don't work. Give me 1, give me 2, give me 3. Woo! It's time to go to work, it's time to play. Man, let's have a day. Hey, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Quarterback's testing 1, 2, 3.
Are you mic'd up? Yep.
He's the pretty one, all right? He's the one the camera's like, we need to keep it on him.
Age before beauty, age before beauty.
McLeod's isn't working. Why didn't we test these out before the game? Got him, got him, got him, got him, got him.
His first of the season from the right hash and 38 yards away.
Yeah! Great job, defense. Here we go.
Do you want me to move you? Or you good stationary? All right.
Go McLeod, go McLeod, go McLeod, go McLeod, go McLeod. Did he get it? Did he get it? Did he get it?
Wes Hills again, cuts it out to the left side, likes what he sees, 10, 5, touchdown Breakers.
Touchdown.
Fun first half here in Birmingham. Curtis Johnson and the Gamblers. There's his starting quarterback, Genji Bahar. They had an excellent finish with the touchdown toss to Justin Hall. And on the other side, the Breakers, John DiFilippo will call plays and lead the way in the second half. It's coming up next.
You've been watching the Arby's Halftime Show.
The match that could decide the Premier League title is here.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
And you can hear all the drama on Sirius XM FC.
Martinelli has given Arsenal the early lead.
The Gunners have held the top spot for most of the year, but Man City's late season surge has them on Arsenal's heels.
De Bruyne towards Haaland in the far post, and he scored again.
Man City versus Arsenal, Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
SiriusXM has your tickets to the most in-demand tour of the year.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
Win a trip for you and 2 friends to live the VIP suite life for the Eras Tour.
Still bejeweled when I walk in the room. I can still make the whole place shimmer.
Enter for your chance to win by finding and solving hidden riddles in the SXM app. For rules and your first clue, go to SiriusXM.com/Taylor Swift by May 7th. No purchase necessary. Must be a U.S. resident and at least 18 to enter.
There's a new show coming to Sirius XM FC channel 157. It's Played In with me, Heather O'Reilly, and my former teammate, Lori Lindsay.
We played in the World Cup, we played in the NWSL, and now we're playing on Sirius XM.
Women's soccer has never been more popular.
From the national team to the NWSL and more, you'll hear our perspectives on the biggest stories in soccer.
It's Played In with Heather O'Reilly and Lori Lindsay, Monday nights at 7 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Time now for first half highlights, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Ready or not, here we come.
Let's go now, let's go.
Yeah, get louder, whole city riled up, jumping out the gates head first like a wild bird.
Let's get it.
The energy around us.
Yes, sir.
We made the energy around us.
Yes, sir.
We made it from the ground up. We are built for this.
Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need.
Till the tape in the first half, and look at what happened on the ground. New Orleans, 3 times as many rushing yards. And that's really the difference, although a touchdown pass from Houston brought them back to tie it up at 10 at halftime. Let's go to the sideline, check in with Lewis.
All righty, Coach Johnson, what did you say to this team to get things turned around here and score that touchdown right before the half?
I thought we moved it pretty well. I just want to air it out a little bit more. I thought we did that. I'm glad the defense held him to a field goal. And my little short guy, Justin, man, he played awesome on that drive.
All right, I know you had more to say than that in the locker room. What are the instructions here for the second half?
Well, just keep this game going good. Let's start tackling a little bit better, and let's see it. I think we do better in the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Paul?
Lewis, that little guy he was referencing, Justin Hall, 5'8", 190 out of Ball State with the big touchdown catch at the end of the second quarter. And as you made reference to, they have the momentum with that touchdown pass. They get the ball right back here.
I was talking about it in the open of the show, getting some easy completions to Kenji Bahar. They did that to start off the drive with a quick flip to TJ Pleasure.
Anthony Ratliff-Williams out of North Carolina, out to the left side, leaps one tackler and another, and out to the 47-yard line. Terrific field position for the Gamblers. They've got the momentum from the last touchdown drive, and after a 34-yard return, they have the ball almost inside of Breakers territory.
Field position has certainly gone the advantage of Houston over and over again throughout the game. Finally saw them late in the second quarter finish one of those drives with a touchdown.
Common theme for both quarterbacks there in that second quarter. They were better in those 15 minutes than in the first quarter. Kenji Bahar starts this half 10 out of 16 for a buck 10. TJ Pledger hit in the backfield and makes it out to the 45, but that's it. A loss of 1. Getting the start today, the outside linebacker, Shaheed Salman, because John Tenuta, defensive coordinator, was expecting a heavy dose of the run.
They've handled it well, has New Orleans in the game here.
Hey, come on!
An offensive line for Houston that you can tell. They like to impose a physical will.
Hey, hold on. Hey, we're going to flood right there. Z, hey, Waggle 5, X pylon, Z Spirit. Hold on, don't worry.
Waggle normally means the quarterback is going to be on the move in some way.
180. 180.
Sets up in trouble from the backside and ripped down. Sacked at the 37-yard line by Henri St. Amour and a loss of 8.
They were disjointed, even attempting to break the huddle. You could see the dis-ease from the offensive line. A short set from Avery Genesee. Expecting Kenji Bahar to be on the move. A little wider path than that. The operation of Houston isn't as clean early in this game as what it's been from New Orleans. Getting in and out of the huddle, getting lined up.
They're down at 18. They have to get down to the 44 of New Orleans. Good pocket over the middle, strike to the 50, and down to the 43-yard line. Boy, third down at 18 doesn't have too many good calls, but hitting Kiki Chisholm in stride for 20 works.
It feels like a small thing, Paul, but when you get the play call succinctly, you break the huddle as a unit and get to the line of scrimmage, things tend to shape up in a cleaner manner. Pass protection holds up, so sound here. And Bahar, with good mechanics, throws an accurate ball to move the sticks.
Bahar awfully comfortable in that pocket. Good job by his offensive line. Good cutback there. To get out to the 38-yard line was TJ Pledger. Gain of 4, and not a lot of opening for him, averaging about 3 yards per carry so far.
And they'll stay committed to the run game. That's the personality that Curtis Johnson wants here with this offense, and I like it. What they need to play off of it, though, is more of what we saw late in the second quarter. Play action with some deep shots.
Hey, Mike 4. We go ready. 180. 180.
Again, play action across the middle. Running by himself is Anthony Ratliff-Williams inside the 10 and into the end zone. theme on that drive, accuracy over the middle from Bahar to his wideouts.
They got Anthony Ratliff-Williams on the move. Man coverage has been there throughout the game. We've now seen the Gamblers offense go into attack mode, throwing the ball more vertically.
Nick Vogel now with a chance to make it a 7-point lead for the Gamblers. The team that got shut out in the second half last week coming alive here. Back-to-back drives and with touchdown passes from Kenji Bahar. First to Justin Hall, and that one to the former Tar Heel, Anthony Ratliff-Williams. Good stiff arm into the end zone. Early in the third, the Gamblers leading 17-10.
Barbecue and football. On April 27th, join SiriusXM NFL Radio as coverage of the 2023 NFL Draft kicks off live from Kansas City.
With the first pick, the Carolina Panthers select
Pick-by-pick coverage of every round, instant analysis from our experts, and interviews with players, coaches, and executives.
I want to be the best ever, and I'm willing to do anything it takes.
Listen to the 2023 NFL Draft on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SXM app.
Don't miss the all-new Rise and Shine, a SiriusXM podcast.
This is Adam Shine. Every Wednesday morning, we're going to make you remember why you love sports. The crack of the bat, the smell of the Grinch, the thrill of a buzzer beater, the heroes, the underdogs, the moments you remember forever. Join me, Bob Stu, and the most interesting guests in sports for the all-new Rise and Shine.
Download Rise and Shine right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's SCHEIN.
Every MLS fan needs SiriusXM FC.
You don't think about it, you just get it.
All the top matches.
Go LAFC!
All the best analysis.
They have a goal scorer. They got a guy that's proven in this league that he can score goals.
All in one place.
Remarkable, inexplicable, absolutely wonderful.
Your league, your station, Major League Soccer on SiriusXM FC 157 and on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
Find out what channel your team is playing on by going to SiriusXM.com/sports.
Right to their first major of the year. The Chevron Championship today, 4 p.m. Eastern on NBC and Peacock. Houston has back-to-back scoring drives, and Lewis Johnson is on the Gambler sideline.
All right, it was a great scene. Quarterback, wide receiver with a great play to get things started off in the second half. So, Kenji, you guys really came alive late in the first half. Tell me about that and how you translated it to the beginning of this third quarter.
I mean, we just finished off a good 2-minute drive going into the half, up-tempo, which we didn't really do that much in the beginning of the first quarter, second quarter. Once we started, finishing out that second drive going into the half, I think we just kept that momentum going, our first drive.
It was pretty sweet. You got quiet all of a sudden over here. What happened to all the jumping around and screaming? You guys excited about scoring the touchdown the way you did?
Absolutely, man. We should throw these regular plays, man. We got a really talented receiver group. So we go out there and make plays. As long as the ball's in the air, we know what we're going to do with it.
Okay, so once you had the ball and you were kind of snaking down the sideline there, it was close to a tackle and the sideline was right there. So what were you thinking about a move you might make to get on by?
Oh, man, you like in your bag right
Come on, tell the truth.
Honestly, I gave him a little hop step thinking like he's vulnerable, so I didn't know what I wanted to do to him, but a little stiff arm to get the trick, so it's all good.
Track and field hurdling?
For sure.
Great connection, guys. Good luck the rest of the way. All right.
Little stiff arm to do the trick.
He had options.
Bethel-Thompson on the move. Johnny Dixon just with the kickoff return. Good cutback across the 40-yard line. And just enough for a first down. Gains 11. And by the way, Kenji Bahar, see if he can stay hot. Last two drives, the quarterback for Houston, 5 out of 5 and 2 touchdown passes.
The inconsistency of the mechanics of Kenji Bahar, extremely accurate the last couple of series here. But some easy completions got his confidence going.
Johnny Dixon with his first catch. West Hills, 1 touchdown already. That came in the second quarter. Just to the right of Bethel-Thompson. Larry Smith is the referee.
False start. Offense, it's number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And been a pretty clean game so far.
From a penalty perspective, without a doubt. The quick game is normally what New Orleans has gone to try and get a drive restarted, which they'll have to do after the penalty.
Quickly out of his hands, drives one down the right side. Perfect pass. Right on the money to Johnny Dixon. Bethel-Thompson to Dixon. First down and a gain of 28 yards.
People tend to assume, Paul, that you have to hold the football for a long time to attack vertically. You really don't when you have a quarterback who knows what he's seeing. This whole shot from McLeod Bethel-Thompson, throwing it beyond the corner but in front of the safety, right in stride to Johnny Dixon.
It's so well done and so difficult because you have that split second when he gets past the corner and before the safety can cover him up. Right back to the air, trying to set up the screen and just floats that one away. Wes Hills was covered. Brings up second down 10. Nick Grant, the corner, had that one sniffed out.
The word momentum gets used a lot, and it really just comes down to confidence. And now you're seeing the Houston defense, where the opponent, the Breakers, were dictating terms to them throughout much of the first half. Now that they have a lead, they're playing downhill. They're the team playing with confidence and urgency.
And what a step forward for the Houston defense, Anthony. Remember last week, Michigan quarterbacks completed 23 out of 25 passes. Right now, Bethel-Thompson, 13 out of 21. This drive has been all about the pass. Steps up on the move. Nice catch at the 20-yard line and down to the 19. Jared Scott. Big tight end with his first catch, 15 yards.
It's very subtle for McLeod Bethel-Thompson, but climbing the pocket vertically while keeping his eyes down the field. Makes a big difference for a quarterback. That pocket begins to break down a little bit, so he climbs vertically, keeps his eyes up where he can get it to Jared Scott. Huge target up the middle.
When you're stepping up on the move like this as a quarterback, it's difficult to bring that ball down. You have a tendency to shoot it high. That's a terrific job by Jared Scott at 6'5" to go up and get it. Defensive end Ronheen Bingham is the injured gambler on the field. 9:30 left in the third. Gamblers by 7.
Morning is eligible. 79. 79, guys.
Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Kevin Hart, and guess what? I've got my own channel on Sirius XM, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, channel 96. We play the best stand-up comedy from some of my favorite comedians, and I got my own show. It's called Straight from the Heart, and I host it with a bunch of unattractive friends of mine. They call the Plastic Cup Boys. Every Tuesday and Thursday, real, raw, authentic conversation. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Laugh Out Loud Radio right here on Sirius XM, channel 96. Don't miss it.
3, 2, 1. Command has been given. Crank them up.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track.
Checker fly, baby. Yeah.
Sunday,
2 p.m. Eastern.
it's the Geico 500 from Talladega Superspeedway.
And the green flag is in the air.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, channel 90.
Hell yeah.
Listen to Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, channel 90, and on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
We did it.
It's interesting, Paul, comparing the two. I mean, the more experienced guy and the younger guy both have benefited from play callers that have taken pressure off of them. Not just mental pressure, but even the physical pressure has taken off with some of the play calling.
This is a drive right now for New Orleans. It's been all about the pass, but here's Wes Hills. A little daylight off the left side and down to the 13-yard line. It's a good thing when you're not touched until you get past the linebackers, gain of 7.
Really like the way Wes Hills runs the football. There's a lot of forward lean to it. Runs with urgency and tempo. It gets a rhythm with the offensive line as the blocking scheme times up for him.
John DeFilippo, head coach, also offensive coordinator here for the Breakers. Calling plays on game day just like he has with the Browns, Vikings, and Jaguars in the last 10 years. Hills again, good cutback and another cut down to the 7-yard line. 2 solid runs in a row there for Hills. That one for 5 yards and a first down.
New Orleans made an adjustment in their offensive line during the game last week where the interior was struggling. They put Kirk Kelly, 79, into the lineup at left guard. We've seen a big difference. The second half of last week's game, the first half, and into the third quarter today, that offensive line performing at a much higher level.
Good job mixing the run and the pass by Coach D. Filippo. All about the pass getting inside the 20. And now leaning on the run to set up first and goal. I formation, Hills trying to turn that corner. Does inside the 5. Reaches for the end zone, and he got there.
It's a huge development for New Orleans that this drive and the flow of the game turned behind their offensive line. Zone blocking scheme, being able to work laterally in unison, and then when you can maintain that block, sustaining the point of attack, you see the force that Wes Hills brings into the second level.
Wes Hills had a game for the Lions in 2019 where he scored a pair of touchdowns on the ground, and that's his second today. Matt Conklin on to attempt the extra point. Yeah, congratulate your teammates there. You ought to find his way over to the offensive line there.
Right, yeah.
And that scoring play under review, just like all scoring plays are. And I would imagine, Anthony, they're taking a look to see if he did get that ball across the pylon. Mike Pereira will take a listen in as he watches what was called a touchdown.
You know, Larry, when I'm looking at this, I thought it was a touchdown initially because he does get the ball inside the pylon, but his right foot actually steps out of bounds before he extends the ball over the pylon. So he is short. So we're going to reverse this to being short. We're going to put the ball, at the half-yard line? Put the ball at the half-yard line. It's going to be second and goal from the half-yard line.
Got you, Mayday. Thank you. After further review, the runner was short of the goal line. It will be first and goal from the 1/2 yard line, left hash. Correction.
How cool is it that we get to hear directly from Mike Pereira as he's talking through it, going through the review process? I couldn't agree with the call more, but it's right on point. Hills was very near that pylon, but you see, as Mike Pereira described it, the right foot, those toes are touching out of bounds before the ball. You get the goal line extended, but before it actually crosses inside the pylon.
Hills gets another chance here, pushed back, and he didn't get there. It'll be third down and goal after no gain there. Johnny Dixon comes in, and they have him set up awfully well for any kind of play action if they want to fake this run because the run has been successful here on this drive.
Thinking the same exact thing, Paul. You wonder if you want that pride to be able to have the offensive line finish this drive off with force, as it looks like they were in position to do previously. Do you try to outflank the defense?
Hills is the tailback.
Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, third down.
So now maybe that play action does come into play.
This is why defensive coaches tell their guys to chase the ball every single time. You live to fight another down.
Junction left open, Z left, 200 jet keystone. Hey, you're working on 25-second clock here. Over 50 walk out, over 50 walk out, right?
A jet is normally a pass play protection.
Get left. Motion to it. 200 jet. 200 jet. Go. Right, 20.
Looking left, firing left. Sage Surratt secured it. Touchdown Breakers.
Strong hands by Surratt. Got the matchup they wanted. He did appear to survive the ground, at least in live action.
TJ Tyler, former Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year, in coverage there. And it's a wonderful throw. And as you mentioned, Anthony, strong hands there to hang on.
Been talking about Surratt throughout the game. Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball in the state of North Carolina coming out of high school.
Extra point is up and in. Say that again. Player of the Year in hoops as well.
Oh, man. Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball. See that hoop game on display.
Sage Surratt has a game best 8 catches. Already his most recent good for 6 points. Breakers and the Gamblers going back and forth. Pretty good pass and an excellent catch. Extra point makes it 17 all inside of 7 minutes left in the third.
Hi, everybody. Christopher Mad Dog Russo here. Familiar? You should be. Well, now you can catch Mad Dog's Daily Bite each day as a podcast, where you'll hear my thoughts and opinions on the biggest topics around the world of sports. NFL, baseball, golf, NBA, even the hockey. That you know you can count on. That's Mad Dog's Daily Bite. Drops daily anywhere you get your podcasts. And you can also hear me weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern on Mad Dog Unleashed, Sirius XM Channel 82, or anytime on the SXM app.
Nobody brings you the excitement of Formula One racing like SiriusXM. Let's go, come on! Hear every thrilling lap of a worldwide championship chase.
Verstappen takes the lead in the Grand Prix. Hamilton couldn't hold him off.
Comprehensive pre- and post-race coverage.
That was the best race I've ever seen.
And a weekly insider look at the F1 circuit every Wednesday on SXM Wheel to Wheel.
There's been plenty going on both on and off track.
The 2023 Formula One season on SiriusXM Channel 81 and the SXM app.
Who will punch their ticket to the FA Cup final? Find out on SiriusXM FC.
Rashford is in here for two! And it is two!
Manchester United are a win away from their 21st appearance in the final. The Cinderella story Brighton have their hopes set on a fairy tale ending.
Mitoma will shoot and find the net! Brighton have surely won it!
It's the FA Cup semi-final. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Sage Surratt was a terrific receiver in the ACC at Wake Forest, had a 1,000-yard season. Easily the most successful pass catcher today. Hanging out with our Lewis Johnson. We'll hear a conversation from them in a moment. But he has 8 receptions, just under 10 yards per catch, Anthony, and the most recent scoring grab as well.
Looks warm on the field. I hope Lewis gets some water, staying hydrated while he's down there, too.
He's finding some pretty good seats.
Yeah, man, he's got a great vantage point.
We didn't have a single point in the first quarter here, and both quarterbacks, McLeod Bethel-Thompson and Kenji Bahar, came alive in the second quarter. They've gotten even hotter in this third. And we are all tied up at 17.
I still feel like both defenses are playing well. We're seeing quality offense enhancing throughout the game.
Deontez Alexander from his own 15. Spins out to the left, finds some room. Late penalty flag does come in as he makes it to the 15-yard line. I will check in with referee Larry Smith.
We're going to hold from here at number 8. Yep.
I don't know how many yards.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 8. 10 yards on the spot of the foul. First down.
It looked like Lewis had a pretty good spot there on the bench. Let's go ahead and check in with him on the sideline.
Enjoying hanging out here and chatting with Sage Surratt about family, basketball, and, of course, football. You've had a big day. Things were opening up for you in the first half. What was happening there that allowed you to catch all those underneath passes in the first half?
They was going a little bit of cover 3 carry, so everybody was kind of sinking back, and all the stuff underneath was kind of
Yeah. So we get down to that last series. We thought we had a rushing touchdown, and then it came back to you. What did you see, and how did you make your way into the end zone with that ball and hold on to it?
They went man coverage right there. So I mean, the quarterback gives you a chance to make a play on the ball in the red zone. He trusts you with it, so you got to make that catch for him.
What does this USFL experience mean to you in your career in this game?
It's been great. It's a great opportunity. Thank you to the league for this hasn't been around for a while, so it's great. Just to be playing football again and get another chance.
You got a dream still on fire here for you?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
What are they?
Get back to NFL.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All righty. And your family's watching from where?
They're watching from South Carolina. Let me say hey to my mom real quick.
Right there.
Hey, Mom.
That's it?
I love you, Mom.
There you go.
I only told her I was going to say hey to her, but I love her, though. All right. Thank you.
He said it, hey, Mom.
He did. Man of his word.
Veteran move there. Bahar rolls out to his left, fires away. Making sure he got in the I love you, Mom.
Right.
Good touch. It's Sage talking about his dream staying alive. He spent time with the Lions and also the Chargers in training camp. He's been around the NFL, hasn't really made it and stuck, and you can say the same thing about so many of these players.
He's obviously a gifted athlete. We're seeing that on display today. Football families, brother Chaz, linebacker with the New York Jets as well. But there's guys who can play the game at a high level, getting the opportunity to do that in the USFL and hone their skills.
Here you go. Ready? 180.
Bahar gives up the middle to Pledger. Good cut back there to get out to the 47-yard line. We'll bring up 3rd down and 6. The tight ends with John DeFilippo, either as a quarterback coach or offensive coordinator in the NFL from 2012 to 2021. He's had some quality outlets before he got to Sage Surratt.
A lot of catches, yards, a lot of 50-50 balls that turn into 80-20 balls from the men on that screen.
Meanwhile, important 3rd down and 6 here for Kenji Bahar. Back foot intercepted. Cutting it back and trying to work his way out of the tackle is Alex Thomas. But late and outside is never a good idea for a quarterback, and Kenji Bahar pays the price there.
You telegraphed it, Paul. You know they wanted to attack the sticks as opposed to going vertical. As Kenji Bahar took the snap from center, he eyed that stack route the entire way.
The penalty marker on the field will eventually get the call here from Larry Smith.
Not in uniform.
From Houston?
From Houston. He came off the bench and pushed that punch him in the face. Push him in the face.
Push him in the face.
Unfortunately, fix.
Where's the blood?
Stop it.
You see the guy, just let me look for a second. And he pushed the opponent player. Let's see. Let me just stay with it a second.
Hey, stay here.
It's the voice of Mike Pereira.
Absolutely. So he just comes off the bench area onto the field and shoves the opponent. Okay, I want him out. I want him out of the game. No, he's not a 66. He's this player here in the T-shirt. So you got a 15-yard penalty, and then I want him out of the bench area, period.
After the interception, during the dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench of Houston, this player has been ejected from the game. 15-yard penalty, 1st down, media timeout.
So no number given for the Gamblers player who was ejected, but one of them did come off the bench. You heard Mike Pereira explain it, as well as Larry Smith. The 15-yard penalty, and there he is right there. Not active for today. We'll gather up some more information, come back to Birmingham right after this. We are all time at 17.
Saturday night is MLS night on Sirius XM FC. Doubleheader coverage begins with Nashville hosting defending champion LAFC.
And goal! It's Luago, the back post! Are you kidding me?
Then Western Conference challengers square off when Seattle meets Minnesota.
It's Jordan Morris! It's so good from the Sounders!
It's an MLS doubleheader tonight at 8 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
It still hurts! I got summertime ringing in my ears!
We take you behind the scenes and give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And wake up with a laugh. What a Joke with Tom Papa at Fortune Feaster.
This is the place for you, my friend.
You never know who'll stop by. Netflix is a Joke Radio only on Sirius XM, Channel 93, and on the SXM app.
For hockey players, the Stanley Cup playoffs are a chance to turn a childhood dream into reality.
The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions!
For hockey fans, the Stanley Cup playoffs are...
The net was wide open! Soft power play goal! Back in, he scores! What a save! Another breakaway!
Hear every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sirius XM and your hometown announcers on the SXM app. Talk about it all on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Okay, player, we're not sure who it is. I will show it.
So I don't have to push anything to talk, right?
Just before the break from the Houston bench, this player you see circled there, inactive today, comes onto the field after the interception and pushes Breakers linebacker Jared Fernandez right there. 15-yard penalty, and Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles also has asked to have him ejected from the game. Mike is with us now. Let's go to the Rocket Mortgage Replay Center. Mike, what did you see there?
Yeah, I'm not going to tolerate a player who is not in uniform, who is inactive, going out on the field to contact an opponent. I think it's one of those I really look at as an automatic ejection, no matter how hard or how severe the push is. I don't want inactive players coming out on the field to get involved. So it's the right call, and I think the ejection is right also.
Mike, thank you very much. McLeod Bethel-Thompson on the move to the left. The ball is caught. We'll see if Johnny Dixon remained in bounds. Looks like he did. And the passing game gets off to a good start. And I like how Mike had conviction with that right away. Before the break, we were listening to his interaction with the referee, Larry Smith, and he didn't waffle at all. Right away, he said, I don't want him there.
And to have that from a player who's out of uniform coming off the sideline, certainly get the impression if that were an active player for the game, perhaps the way that infraction was adjudicated would have been slightly different, but different standards for players in different situations here. It makes sense.
Wes Hills has been hot second and third quarter. Alley around the left side inside the 10 and shoved out of bounds inside the 5. Isaiah Pryor, outside linebacker, eventually got to him, but Hills picks up 15 yards to set up first down and goal.
The defense turning to offense here for the Breakers, and their offensive line continuing to work so well together. The ball handling in the backfield by McLeod Bethel-Thompson, making every run action look the same from the quarterback position. That delays the linebackers for a moment as well.
Hills over 3,300 rushing yards in Delaware as well as Slippery Rock. First and goal, Hills head down and inside the 1-yard line. Getting closer to that goal line, gain of 2. He's also getting closer to a 100-yard game, 13 carries for 85 yards.
And Hills wasn't necessarily the back who was expected coming into the game to make the biggest impact. Anthony Jones, an excellent pass receiver out of the backfield, but we're seeing Wes Hills impose his will on this action behind that mammoth offensive line.
Hills and Jones, 17 carries combined for 96 yards. Jet sweep to Dixon, drilled in the backfield. Big loss out to the 6-yard line from Princeton. TJ Tyler into the Breakers backfield for a loss of 4.
It's a difficult call sometimes for a coordinator. Do you continue to ram it away at the interior of the opposing defense? Here, they decide to attack the exterior. Such a great reaction from TJ Tyler. They're just on a seek and destroy mission into the opposing backfield. That was his one assignment. He performed it at a high level.
The Breakers saw Houston take a 17-10 lead early in this third quarter before they tied it. Now a chance to go up top. Bethel-Thompson to the end zone, strike, touchdown New Orleans. Johnny Dixon.
Good shit, Johnny, baby.
It's worked out pretty well for New Orleans when they lose a few yards from inside the 5. That allows them to drop back and throw the football. The last 2 series, the very next play after a loss of yardage has been a touchdown grab.
As a quarterback, Anthony, you are told if you have time in the pocket, you're near the end zone, back of the end zone, that back line is where you can make some money, and that's a great route. And Bethel-Thompson put it right on it.
It's not easy with an outside release over the top of the receiver there to stay in bounds. Great footwork from Dixon.
Bethel-Thompson was 17 out of 22 in the second half last week in the come-from-behind win. And he's a solid 17 out of 25 today, and the former Buckeye on the receiving end there.
You're hoping as a defender that you can force the quarterback to complete the most difficult pass on the field. And Manny Bunch, because he forced the outside release from Dixon, he initially did his job, but MBT on the same page with Johnny.
Johnny Dixon, the last 3 games of Ohio State career. Anthony, how about this? Against Michigan, Big Ten title game in the Rose Bowl. He had a touchdown in all 3 of those Ohio State wins. And his touchdown here as the Breakers back up by 7.
Story of perseverance for the career of Johnny Dixon. Those initial seasons in Columbus, had knee injuries each of those first 3 years. Responded well with such a strong finish to his career like you referenced.
Defense to offense working well there for New Orleans. They had the interception from Alex Thomas, set him up inside of Houston territory. And quickly thereafter, after some successful runs, Dixon with a touchdown catch. This is Anthony Ratliff-Williams. And out to the 40-yard line. Time now for the report, brought to you by U.S. Bank. Kenji Bahar, slow start here after the loss last week when they didn't score a touchdown in the second half. And today, 12 out of 20, $168, a couple of touchdowns. It's mostly good, and this was just before halftime. An excellent touch pass to Justin Hall. That was in the final minute of the first half, and then he responded well early in the third quarter. Anthony Ratliff-Williams, the catch and the run for a score. But his last pass, Anthony, was an interception. We'll see how he responds. Quick feet in the backfield, gets him out to the 43-yard line. TJ Pledger, gain of 3. Lewis.
Yeah, quick cleanup on this story. The Houston Gamblers player that was ejected a moment ago, that was Mark Thompson, the running back who was inactive for today. Mark Thompson again, the player that had to leave for the Gamblers in that contact with a player on the field.
Lewis, thank you. And not the kind of news we expected from Mark Thompson. Coach's decision last week that he didn't play. We thought he would play today, but inactive. And then ejected after coming onto the field to shove Jared Fernandez. Late flag on the field. As Thompson's replacement, TJ Pledger, has run out of bounds after a gain of 3.
It's going to be on the right tackle. The Ty Rogers, the hold.
Holding. Offense, number 51. Change up from the spot of the foul. Second down.
But with Kenji Bahar, Paul, and really this Houston offense as a whole, turnovers have been a big bugaboo for them early in the season. Showed up last week. Now we've seen it again here in this half. Some of the unforced errors when they have things going. It's where you really need to hone back in on your techniques and make sure you're not allowing things to get off the rails.
180! 180!
Good pocket for Bahar. Completion underneath. Not much there, though, out to the 38-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long. 3rd down and 13 coming up. Justin Hall with the reception. Game is always going to have ebbs and flows, and that's the offensive coordinator, Eric Price, for the Gamblers. They had a lot of ups in their recent possessions. Been down a little bit here.
There we go. Gun flex right close. 22 kick bump. Orlando at shallow.
Well, you'll have one shallow route there. There should be a one-on-one matchup on the outside. We'll see if Kenji Bahar goes back into attack mode, seeing one-on-one coverage.
Flush down to his right, back up the middle, has some room to keep it. Work to do across the 40 and struck at the 45 down to the 47-yard line. A little bit short. Greg Eisworth, the safety, keeps that to a gain of 9.
And Kenji Bahar looked more hesitant to me on this series after the interception.
Earlier in the third quarter, the Breakers trailed by 7, but the last 2 touchdowns belong to that New Orleans offense. The last one after the interception from the D. Plenty of fireworks in that third quarter. We head to the fourth with New Orleans leading 24-17.
The NBA playoffs are on Sirius XM.
Are you kidding me?
Where all stars become superstars.
There is no answer for Giannis.
Superstars become legends.
You're Steph Curry, and you can make the amazing seem ordinary.
And legends become immortals.
LeBron has brought the crowd to its feet.
Check out the SXM app for every playoff game, your hometown announcers, and nonstop basketball talk on Sirius XM NBA Radio.
The biggest stars in the world of women's soccer play in the NWSL, and you can hear them in action all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Thompson, so positive, and she scored!
Number 1 overall pick, Alyssa Thompson, leads Angel City against Alex Morgan and the San Diego Wave.
Morgan rips a shot, and we're level.
It's the NWSL Game of the Week, Angel City versus San Diego, tomorrow on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the SXM app.
The match that could decide the Premier League title is here.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
And you can hear all the drama on Sirius XM FC.
Martinelli has given Arsenal the early lead.
The Gunners have held the top spot for most of the year, but Man City's late season surge has them on Arsenal's heels.
De Bruyne towards Haaland at the far post, and he scored again.
Man City versus Arsenal, Wednesday at 2:30 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Okay. We're just getting started here on week 2. This is game 1 on a Saturday. Tonight on Fox, Memphis and Birmingham, and then 2 games tomorrow, 1 on NBC and then 1 on FS1 in the evening, Michigan and Philadelphia. 3 games left to go. You can catch them, the families of NBC and Fox, throughout the weekend. McLeod Bethel-Thompson, quarterback from New Orleans last week, finished 17 out of 22. You know what he is, Anthony, his last 22 tosses today?
What is he?
17 out of 22.
Not half bad.
Towering punt inside the 10, and the fair catch made at the 8-yard line. Bethel-Thompson's last pass back of the end zone to Johnny Dixon, right on the money. That was his second touchdown toss of the third quarter. The first went to his tight end, Sage Surratt. He is the leading receiver in this game with 8 catches for 79 yards.
So now backed up here, the edge of the Gamblers defense was actually really effective getting into the pocket. We'll see if Raheem Bingham can continue to impact the game.
Bethel-Thompson started the fourth quarter last week needing to come from behind, and they finally got the go-ahead touchdown late. Now they're trying to build on a 7-point cushion. Play action near his goal line, across his body. Well done. Who else? Sage Surratt, his 9th catch. Not enough for a first down, but he does pick up 7 yards.
Not a chunk play, but it does give you a little bit of breathing room coming away from your own end zone.
You're right.
Bethel-Thompson's been in camp with the NFL team, 6 different teams. He's been in the CFL the last 5 years. Hands off to Hills off to the right side, and the Houston defense is there to set up third down. He's learned so many systems in the last 12 years. John DiFilippo said to us, we only had 3 weeks of camp, but it was no big deal to that 34-year-old because the last 12 years he's been learning different offenses every fall.
Flip bringing all the NFL verbiage, all the NFL schemes and personnel groupings with him to this offense, but McLeod Bethel-Thompson not the only one who needs to digest it. He's got to get on the same page with his receivers, his offensive line for their landmarks.
I didn't like that call there. I called timeout, but I called
self-assessment
like
from
call.
Flip.
That was a quick clock, wasn't it?
As you can hear, he didn't like that call.
He thinks he can do more.
We'll see what the call is on the other side of the break. Fourth quarter just underway.
I understand. No, it was good.
Football news on the players and teams that matter to you on Sirius XM NFL Radio Channel 88 and the Sirius XM app.
Premieres on Peacock as the Philadelphia Phillies welcome the Colorado Rockies to the city of brotherly love. Stream Rockies at Phillies tomorrow, 11:30 Eastern, only on Peacock. New Orleans quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson knows that city well. He spent training camp with the Eagles in 2016, and that is only a little bit of the story. 2011 to 2016, look at that NFL journey, in and out of buildings, in and out of practice squads and rosters. And then he found stability in the CFL. He's been with Toronto the last 5 years, leading passer in that league each of the last 2, and the quarterback to lead his team to the Grey Cup last season as well. Retreating, back foot. Wanted Johnny Dixon there on 3rd down and 6. He was double covered to bring up 4th down.
We saw more of that in the first quarter from Chris Wilson, the Gamblers defensive coordinator, where they just brought heat, especially when the breakers were backed up. Just bring that additional slot pressure and force McLeod Bethel-Thompson to extend the play, to make a quick decision.
Chris Wilson, defensive coordinator for Houston. He also has a connection with John DeFilippo, the head coach of the Breakers. They were on the staff together in Philadelphia in 2017. That year, the Eagles won the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. Matthew White from his own 1. Justin Hall, touchdown, final minute of the second quarter, sidestep.
Thank you.
He makes it out to the 32-yard line. Lewis is on the Houston sidelines.
All right, I've got the head coach here, Curtis Johnson. What do you need out of your quarterback and the rest of this team, the rest of the quarter?
Just need a good drive, some ball control, because they are very good on offense. They play good defense, too. We just got to beat man to man.
All right, Coach, thank you.
See if the Breakers defense, led by coordinator John Tenuta, who was also here last year, plays some man-to-man.
180.
They go zone to start. TJ Pledger. Daylight inside across the 40 and out to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Ray.
Jerry Eldon, free safety with the tackle, gain of 14.
On the interior, we've seen Houston doing a nice job. Nick Buchanan at the center position. I like the burst. Once TJ Pledger got his eyes turned downhill, he's very decisive on this run in particular. I feel like there's been a couple of these opportunities earlier in the game to maybe get a little bit more running north and south.
Curtis Johnson said he loved how hard his running backs ran last week.
Hey, Mike 20. 180. 180.
Try it again, other side to Pledger. Another first down. This time inside of New Orleans territory. Jerry Elder again, second consecutive play. The free safety has to make a stop, and another gain of 14.
Pledger spent his entire college career with multiple programs who love to run the football majority of that time with the Oklahoma Sooners, and finished up with Utah as he receives the ball. See how quickly he begins to run vertically. That's why the edge defender gets a hand on him but can't bring him down, because he's getting more north and south a lot more quickly now.
Average just inside of 6 yards per carry, carrying the football at Utah and Oklahoma. Cut back there. Well, he is having himself a drive. Didn't get the 14 yards he had in the previous two, Anthony, but he'll take 6 anytime.
No Devwah Whaley. We've talked about no Mark Thompson today as well. The two more physical ball carriers, frankly, not in action for the Gamblers, and so the entire rushing attack is on TJ Pledger. We've seen Eric Price. He's gone away from that rotation with Terry Wilson coming in at quarterback because the Breakers had a beat on it.
Pledger leading rusher in this game now thanks to this drive. 16 carries for 86 yards.
180.
Now they fake it to him. Crossing route, bullseye. First down on the 24-yard line. Anthony Ratliff-Williams, who was in short motion to the left, crossed to the right for 11.
Kenji Bahar in rhythm at this point, and it's led just like Curtis Johnson told Lewis. You watch him here off the play action. Just put the ball quickly into the belly of the back, and then his eyes immediately shoot down the field. A good, decisive throw in rhythm. When Kenji Bahar holds the football, we saw how negative that can be for the offense, leading to turnovers.
You hear the term clean pocket a lot. They should just show a picture of that pocket right there. First and 10 from the 24, right back to the air. Another clean pocket, another completion. Pledger out of the backfield near the 20-yard line. Late flag came in the backfield. See if that gain of 3 stands.
51 went low. Okay. So what we have is a chop block on 72-51 here. 72-51 went low on 72.
And it is confirmed. Good call.
Personal foul. Chop block by the offense, number 72-51. 15-yard penalty will be first down.
Call goes against right guard Jordan Steckler.
Between Steckler and the right tackle, Natai Rogers, they run a twist stunt, and as the interior defender is twisting around Reggie Howard, it wasn't on purpose. Rogers was actually preparing to cut block legally the defensive end. As he's going into a cut block motion, the defensive tackle ended up working out towards the outside and got his legs rolled out.
Call actually goes against Natai Rogers, the right tackle. Well, now it's first down 25. We'll see if they can get a little back. Bahar patiently buying time. 2 penalty markers, making 3 come out just as he released the ball.
And I'm going to have a UNS on field for a taunt. Hey, stop. Are you about to go?
So we got a illegal blindside block.
So they got to accept just one.
So we're going to go 15 for the blindside.
And that was behind the line of scrimmage.
Number who?
And you're going to.
Is that number 52?
74.
Hey, guys, get in here and break this up.
74.
Got you. We have 2 fouls on the play. One live ball, 1 dead ball. Both will be enforced. Personal foul, blindside block, offense, number 74, 15-yard penalty. After the play,
the taunting
sportsmanlike
is
conduct.
declined. Taunting is
Offense
declined.
number
You can't
51.
enforce both.
That penalty will be declined by rule. This is 51's first foul that leads towards disqualification.
Good job.
TV timeout. Media timeout.
There's a lot there to work through. There was a play that got extended quite a bit as well. Got to hear some of Mike Pereira talking to the officiating crew. The illegal crackback block, that's the live ball foul that you hear the officials talking through. Then they also ruled that Natai Rogers had a dead ball foul for taunting after that block was made.
Tough go for the Gamblers. Since that interception, they've had 5 penalties. They'll be backed up inside of their own territory when we come back.
For hockey players, the Stanley Cup playoffs are a chance to turn a childhood dream into reality.
The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions.
For hockey fans, the Stanley Cup playoffs are...
The net was wide open. It's a power play goal. Back in, he scores. What a save. Another breakaway.
Hear every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sirius XM and your hometown announcers on the SXM app. Talk about it all on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
The biggest stars in the world of women's soccer play in the NWSL, and you could hear them in action all season long on Sirius XM FC.
Thompson, so positive, and she scored!
Number 1 overall pick, Alyssa Thompson, leads Angel City against Alex Morgan and the San Diego Wave.
Morgan rips a shot, and we're level.
It's the NWSL Game of the Week, Angel City versus San Diego, tomorrow on Sirius XM FC 157 and streaming on the SXM app.
SiriusXM has your tickets to the most in-demand tour of the year.
Hey, it's Taylor Swift.
Win a trip for you and 2 friends to live the VIP suite life for the Eras Tour.
When I walk in the room, I can still make the whole place shimmer.
Enter for your chance to win by finding and solving hidden riddles in the SXM app. For rules and your first clue, go to SiriusXM.com/Taylor Swift by May 7th. No purchase necessary. Must be a U.S. resident and at least 18 to enter.
Is very either one of these safeties are athletic. I'm just saying. Just
That's Houston head coach Curtis Johnson not happy about what just happened. Let's go to Los Angeles and bring in the director of officiating for the USFL, Mike Pereira. On that last sequence, Mike, there were 2 penalties called against the Gamblers. What did you see?
Yeah, and both correct calls. You had a blindside block that is clearly a blindside block, and then after the play, you had a taunt against the same team. In NFL rules, those are just considered multiple fouls. You don't enforce both. So if you accepted the live ball foul, then it becomes actually 1st and 25, and that's what they did, and just had to decline the taunt.
And Mike, thanks for the explanation there. And Anthony, I know you explained it as well just before the break, and things getting awfully chippy down there on the field. Meanwhile, the offense of the Gamblers trying to get some of that yardage back. They get out to the 43-yard line. TJ Pledger, the back out of the backfield, does a nice job of getting 13.
On that previous play, Paul, where it can get a little tricky for the offensive line is because you had the quarterback, Kenji Bahar. He extended the play wide to the field to the right, then ran back to the left. They're trying to maintain blocks, and so the pocket no longer exists, but the angle of the defender of his pursuit still indicates where you can still pick up a penalty flag. So an accurate call from Larry Smith's crew.
Here comes a blitz. Deep down the right side, a little bit too much, and a late flag comes in. as it falls incomplete to T.O. Redding.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. First down.
That's Neville Clark. John Tenuta said that's the best corner on this side this year. And of course, he doesn't agree with it. We'll take a look.
Ooh, see that left elbow wrapped up. He's got the tug with the right hand.
That's more of a hold than a tug.
I would say so, yeah. But you can tell Houston certainly has felt for several quarters now. They have an advantage with their receivers versus the opposing defensive backs. When they get man coverage, they want to get into attack mode.
God, this kid drive me crazy.
Curtis Johnson still upset about the penalties and the lack of discipline for his team, but that penalty, they had more than 40 yards to go for a first. That gives them an automatic first down.
Wide 80. Wide 80, son.
Pledger back to the right side. Brought down just as he crossed the 25-yard line by outside linebacker Justice Reed, gain of 5 yards.
And that rule, Paul, that you referenced, different in the USFL, where it's the only reason that ends up being a spot foul is because the ball travels more than 15 air yards down the field. The defensive back continuing to hold the jersey on purpose, so the officials rule that that's a spot foul as opposed to just a 15-yard penalty like some others would be.
And all the pass interference calls are reviewed back in Los Angeles. They can make it a spot foul or do with it what they'd like. One of the rule differences here in the USFL. Second down 5 off the back foot into the end zone. Nobody there. Greg Eisworth, the safety for New Orleans, was the closest there.
Love how decisive Kenji Bahar is right now. Let's get a play call.
Paint F cash.
Right edge, right edge.
Gun bunch left, 23 paint F cash. Gun bunch left, 23 paint F cash.
We're going gun bunch left, 23 paint F cash. On one, ready? You spent all your money last year.
So normally cash ends up being a side adjustment based off the depth of the safety.
180. 180, son.
Over the middle, wide open. Cash was the right call, and a good leap. Down near the goal line, the ball comes out. And a late touchdown is called. Justin Hall with a leap over Jerry Elder. And Houston's back to within 1. Every scoring play is reviewed. We'll see if Hall actually got in.
Elder played so deep, Paul, that the side adjustment there for Justin Hall was he broke his route off short. If the safety would have come up and been in position, then the adjustment would have been Justin Hall ran past him to receive it on more of a post route. There just comes on a quick slant. Bahar got the football in his hands, and his playmaker made the rest happen.
All right, Mike Pereira back in Los Angeles taking a look here at this.
So
call
we're
that
looking
was
at the
called a
left
touchdown.
elbow, huh? Larry, what we're looking at is the left elbow here. We do have a shot down the line from about the 1 yard line, and the elbow hits, you can see. Tough call to make on the field, but he is short. So we're going to have to, we'll reverse this and put him down at about the 2 foot line, and it'll be first and goal at the 2 foot line.
After review, the ruling on the field is the runner was short of the goal line. It will be first and goal from the 2 foot line on the left hash.
You heard it all there from Mike Pereira and watched it. Still a wonderful effort from Justin Hall to set a first and goal inside the 1.
I don't know. Mike Pereira, was that clear and obvious? That was enough to overturn it? I mean, you got the harsh glare of expectation on you right now, buddy.
Well, when I actually looked at it, even though you had a player in between, you could see the edge of the ball that was still behind the player, so you knew it was short, and that was enough for me.
TJ Pledger. That extra effort did get him in. Mike might have another one to look at here. I'm not quite sure. Mike don't go anywhere. Kenji Bahar is off to the sideline, but let's see if he got across the stripe.
Touchdown. Just taking a look so far, I don't see a lot. Still looking. Stay with me for a second, Larry. Can I see this again? This shot here, Boy, it's really close. You see what that before the knee gets down, that little extension. Larry, this is one of those I'm going to leave. It's so close. I don't have enough that's clear and obvious to overturn. So I'll stay with touchdown.
Ruling on instead of a touchdown stands.
And it's so close at a moment's notice there.
Tie often goes to the call on the field. Call on the field was a touchdown. Now that's to tie it up here. And yes, that just barely snuck in. Can Mike take a look at that too?
Let's go, D.
Okay, extra point is good.
Let's go, D.
Pledger did get across the line, and McLeod Bethel-Thompson now has work cut out for him. The Gamblers were getting so close, and this is tight. Was he in? Did he get it across? The call on the field was yes. Mike Pereira agrees. Extra point just snuck in that right upright. 6:42 left in the game, and we're all tied at 24.
Don't miss the all-new Rise and Shine, a Sirius XM podcast.
This is Adam Shine. Every Wednesday morning, we're going to make you remember why you love sports. The crack of the bat, the smell of the grass, the thrill of a buzzer beater, the heroes, the underdogs, the moments you remember forever. Join me, Bob Stew, and the most interesting guests in sports for the all-new Rise and Shine.
Download Rise and Shine right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's SCHEIN.
Every MLS fan needs Sirius XM FC. You don't think about it, you just get it. All the top matches. Go LAFC! All the best analysis.
They have a goal scorer. They got a guy that's proven in this league that he can score goals.
All in one place.
Remarkable, inexplicable, absolutely wonderful.
Your league, your station, Major League Soccer on Sirius XM FC 157 and on the SXM app, included with all of our trials and popular plans.
Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Kevin Hart, and guess what? I've got my own channel on Sirius XM, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, channel 96. We play the best stand-up comedy from some of my favorite comedians, and I got my own show. It's called Straight From the Heart, and I host it with a bunch of unattractive friends of mine. They call the Plastic Cup Boys. Every Tuesday and Thursday, real, raw, authentic conversation. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Laugh Out Loud Radio right here on Sirius XM, channel 96. Don't miss it.
Don't forget to vote for the USFL Players of the Week. Every Monday, the @USFL Twitter account will tweet out a poll featuring all the nominees for offensive, defensive, and special teams Players of the Week. Winners will be announced every Tuesday. I know we have 3 games left to go here on the weekend, one on Fox, one on NBC, one on FS1. I think we have some strong candidates today.
I voted last week. I don't know what you did on Twitter, but I certainly made my votes known.
Who'd you vote
Twitterverse. Offensive Player of the Week, I voted for McLeod Bethel-Thompson.
Now he starts this drive 18 out of 27, 170, couple of touchdowns, no picks. And a tie game with 6:42 left. Johnny Dixon, touchdown reception today across the 30 and 35. Just as he was getting into high gear, goes down at the 43-yard line.
We heard Curtis Johnson earlier tell Lewis Johnson he's looking for a takeaway. He's got to find a way to get his team to get the football away from MBT, this New Orleans offense.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson hasn't thrown a pick yet this year. Playoff game, Grey Cup last year in the CFL. Didn't throw an interception in either one of those 2 games either. Wes Hills patiently off the left side, doesn't find much there. Getting tackled at the 46-yard line, gain of 2.
It's almost like they just heard what I was talking about there, Paul, because so many of the tackles for the Gamblers defense up to this point have been one-on-one tackles, and that's a part of what's led to Wes Hills getting a lot of these yards after contact. When you can gang tackle, gives you a chance for the second guy to get a strip.
Wes Hills 15 carries for 84 yards. To the air, in rhythm, in stride to Sage Surratt. A strike on the seam route gets him down to the 23-yard line. Outside linebacker TJ Tyler with the stop. Gain of 32 yards.
You see that receiver background from Sage Surratt with the way he can release off the line of scrimmage. Great stem to keep its width, and that's why it's difficult for the safety to get position.
From the pocket to the play action, Bethel-Thompson just dumps that one away to live to see second down 10.
Pass complete. Second and 10 is the 23.
On that skinny post, Paul, and you've thrown a bunch of them in your past, the receiver has to keep his width just wide enough. After you make the release, you want to make sure the stem that you have keeps you wide enough where the quarterback can deliver it between the two defenders. If he goes too far towards the inside, he's setting himself up to get cut in half by the safety.
As a quarterback, when you have a good tight end with a linebacker turning and chasing him, it's hard to keep the smile off your face. Looking to his left, Wes Hill's out of the backfield across the 20, cuts it up, and keeps his feet down the 11-yard line. Another first down for the Breakers. They're once again on the move after a pickup of 11 yards.
Smooth rhythm for the passing attack here, and it's made the pass protection hold up better. I mean, Raheem Bingham, he's got a spin cycle going against everyone trying to block him, but he can't get home because there's so much of a wide variety of looks he's getting from the timing, the pacing, the pocket movement of the Breakers.
Sage Surratt had 5 100-yard games at Wake Forest in 2019. He's over 100 today. Wes Hills is inside the 5 and down to the 3-yard line.
You can tell the running back's in a rhythm when he gets up with a little dance, a little shimmy,
and a flex.
Oh, yeah. And the offensive line is sensing that as well. This power play where Paul Adams pulls around, he essentially becomes a lead blocker for Hills.
Pledger and Hills have been going back and forth as the leading rusher in this game. Hills just passed him. He has 93 yards, and he's standing on his 10-yard line. Cross the 5, head down, and into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans.
That drive was a thing of beauty up front. Hasn't been easy work for the New Orleans offensive line, but they've been really effective in this game. Paul Adams, Jack Kramer, Kirk Kelly, they've been putting in work.
So Hills hold up 3 fingers there, 3 touchdown runs. Extra point is up and in from Matt Coughlin. New Orleans back to a 7-point cushion, leading 31-24.
It's interesting, Paul, strategically, where you don't have to go for the point after try as a one-pointer. At some point, you wonder if, because New Orleans offense has been more effective in the red zone, if that factors into some of the decision-making here on point after tries. Maybe they go for 2, presuming they've got a better chance to make their 2 than the opponent, or they go for 3, running a true offensive play from there. Strategically, that's the type of thing coaches in the USFL will have access to.
Top 2 running backs for the Breakers, led by that man right there. Wes Hills have combined to go over 100 yards. Hills and Jones, 21 carries for 107. Bethel-Thompson, 20 out of 30. It's only 2 games in, Anthony, but you can see the identity starting to form for John DiFilippo. They want to pass a little bit more than they run, but they're not going to forget about the ground game.
It helps even the most experienced quarterbacks in the world, Paul. You talk through the resume of McLeod Bethel-Thompson in his mid-30s. He's been around the block in every league imaginable, but to have an offensive line and a run game, it makes his job that much easier.
Gamblers have responded every step of the way, going back to late in the second quarter, and they'll have at least one more chance to do so. Deontez Alexander, little spin move. That worked well out to the 40-yard line. And again, best kickoff return of the day. Nifty out to the 50-yard line, return of 33 yards.
I got to say, Paul, I didn't think that was going to go so well when Deontez Alexander began it. He telegraphed it a bit. The move took a little while to execute, but it was almost like an optical illusion. It was like an 8-second spin move, and then it was like a sundial went around, and the shadows were moving, and no one knew where he was.
And then he was still on his feet. I was surprised they're out near the 50. But he recognized right now that's not a good place. Really well done.
Hit the brakes, not so quickly, but he got there.
And so now the result is Kenji Bahar will take over at the 50-yard line.
More great field position for the Gamblers. The excellent field position has been there throughout the game. They've done a more and more effective job of capitalizing on that field position since the second quarter.
Second quarter started tied at 0. Both teams scored 10 points.
Ready? Yeah.
Tied at halftime at 10. We've been going back and forth in the third and fourth quarter. And the Gamblers now with a chance to come back in time.
A cruise all over it, Paul. I say field position. A second later, boom, there's field position.
TJ Pledger with no Mark Thompson, who was ejected from the game for coming onto the field and shoving a breaker. It's been all Pledger. 18 carries for 92 yards. Bahar, nice pocket, deep down the right side. What a catch inside the 20. Anthony Ratliff-Williams has a touchdown in this half, and that's a reception for 33 yards.
They've got some go-getters on the outside for the Gamblers. It feels like less of a gamble as a quarterback, even though your receiver, Anthony Ratliff-Williams, he hasn't declared himself open. He hasn't truly separated from the defensive back. But Kenji Bahar puts it right over the ear of Neville Clark. Ratliff-Williams goes and snatches it.
He's approaching 100 yards, 4 grabs for 95 yards. Going right back to that side. Bahar keeps it himself. Stiff arm doesn't work, and he is torn down at the 18-yard line. Jordan Brailford.
Kenji Bahar is still so young in his development. He's been with the Ravens, like we talked about a little bit earlier, and now just getting accustomed to this offensive system. Remember, it was Kevin Sumlin's offense a year ago when he was the Gamblers quarterback. So now Curtis Johnson, Eric Price come in with their system. The more he plays the game, you see the natural talent, the decisiveness improving as a quarterback.
Ready? Mike 4.
17 out of 26 for 249.
180.
Quickly gets rid of it, complete down near the 10-yard line. Spin move inside the 5 and inside the end zone for Justin Hall. 18-yard touchdown, and it's a 1-point game.
He's a monster.
Is that Justin Hall at 5'8", 189? Or is that Marshawn Lynch? How many receivers can go beast mode like this? Again, another decisive pass from Kenji Bahar, and you hit a receiver in stride. The ability to run after catch. We've heard some talk of stiff arms throughout this game here.
Hey, an extra credit for a difficult catch because, as we just saw, that ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. Anthony. Right. Important extra point here to tie this one up. And no doubt, 2 minutes left. And we are locked up at 31. Justin Hall, 2 touchdown catches on the day and over 100 yards receiving. Watch this ball. Tipped at the line of scrimmage. No issues for Hall. Comes back to get it. Had a lot of work to do to get to the end zone, but that work was done. Extra point was also good. And we are all tied at 31 with 2 minutes left. It's in Birmingham.
Who will punch their ticket to the FA Cup final? Find out on SiriusXM FC.
Rashford is in here for 2! And it is 2!
Manchester United are a win away from their 21st appearance in the final. The Cinderella story Brighton have their hopes set on a fairy tale ending.
Mitoma will shoot and find the net! Brighton have surely won it!
It's the FA Cup semi-final. Coverage begins tomorrow morning at 11 Eastern on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Saturday night is MLS night on Sirius XM FC. Doubleheader coverage begins with Nashville hosting defending champion LAFC.
And goal! It's the wide on the back post!
Then Western Conference challengers square off when Seattle meets Minnesota.
It's Jordan Morris! It's so good from the Sounders!
It's an MLS doubleheader tonight at 8 Eastern on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
Netflix is a Joke Radio brings you exclusive comedy specials and stand-up from Netflix's massive library from the world's biggest comedians.
It still hurts! I got summertime ringing in my ears!
We take you behind the scenes and give you unparalleled access to Netflix's top premieres. And wake up with a laugh. What's a Joke with Tom Papa at Fortune Feaster.
This is the place for you, my friend.
You never know who'll stop by. Netflix is a Joke Radio only on Sirius XM, Channel 93, and on the SXM app.
For hockey players, the Stanley Cup playoffs are a chance to turn a childhood dream into reality.
The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions!
For hockey fans, the Stanley Cup playoffs are...
The net was wide open! It's off power, play goal! He scored! What a save! Another breakaway!
Hear every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sirius XM and your hometown announcers on the SXM app. Talk about it all on NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Side is 10. Out to the 30. And backs his way out to the 37. And that's where 34-year-old quarterback McLeod Bethel-Thompson will begin. You saw what he did last week. He was in a similar spot, needed a game-winning drive, didn't miss, fired a touchdown pass to his running back, Anthony Jones, for the winner. And now he starts this one on the 37-yard line, 1:53 left. Ball tied at 31. His tailback, Wes Hills, 17 carries for 96 yards, but right to the air. Quickly out of his hands, Sage Surratt is tied in, already over 100 yards. Short gain out to the 41-yard line. Kalen Tolson with the stop.
Lucky. Raider. Lucky 44. Start with 18. Here we go. White 20.
Breakers with 2 timeouts left. Standing in, throwing to the sideline, way over the head of his intended receiver, Johnny Dixon, to bring up third down.
This early in the season, short training camp, going no huddle, very impressive.
Hey, let's go wristband 36. Band 36. You got the Sparrow X shallow.
Got to go to the wristband for those long plays. See if it's a good one here on third down and 6. Four-man rush. Out of the backfield to Hills to the 40 and out to the 42-yard line. He'll be well short. Solid tackle by the safety, Andrew Surratt, gain of 1. Timeout call.
God dang it. That's why I called you. Did we get a good match? Dang it.
Can't go for it here, can you?
Fudge. That's right, we got man, right? That's why we called the freaking play. Son of a gun.
John DiFilippo really wanted to feel like he could go for it, but on 4th and 5 in his own territory, tie game, got to punt it away.
So when you heard him ask, did we get a good mesh? It's because he knows they were in man coverage on the back end. They tried to run a crossing route. You're hoping that with that mesh concept, someone will break free. McLeod Bethel-Thompson didn't like what he saw, so he fed it down to the back.
Matthew White from his own 30, short, going toward the right sideline, way out of bounds. Justin Hall had no chance. We'll see where they mark this one.
Out of bounds.
And they're still walking up the other way across the 30-yard line and out to the 32. And that's where Kenji Bahar will begin. He's 18 out of 27, 267, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick.
You got the Harvey? Go. All right. Everyone, gun trips right. 22 paint spinner, halfback burst, 1-1-1. Ready?
Should be a safe completion. Starts off with for Kenji Bahar.
Well, it may be one. It may be cover 1. Hey, Mike 4, ready?
Cover Cover one would be man with a free safety playing center field. Bahar, nice pocket, throws low and going down to get it, but not coming up with it. Is Josh Peterson. Late flag did come in the backfield.
Roughing the passer, number 90 of the defense. Yes. Felt like he could. Number 90 felt like he could have held up. He went and drove him right into the ground.
Drove him onto the ground, but he's on the side of him. That's the thing. He falls on his side. I'm going to take a look at this. Is it late? That's the first thing. Well, it is kind of late.
No, I have it late. I just have him could have held up and chose not to.
I think, Larry, it's all one act and he comes to the side. That's my problem with this, but I still think it's a bit late. So I'm going to stay with the late and that. So we'll stay with the call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 90. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Think of how many fans, viewers in other leagues hope that they get the opportunity for what we just heard right there. All personal fouls reviewed in the USFL. So you hear Mike Pereira back in the command center talking to Larry Smith, going through whether or not they want to keep that call on. Multiple versions were possible. They decided to keep the personal foul on.
Bahar intercepted at the 25-yard line. Coming back the other way is Jerry Elder. Just inside of Gamblers' territory. Bahar's second interception of the second half is a costly one.
And Paul, I've been using the term decisiveness, where Kenji Bahar's at his best here. He throws with anticipation, the inside release from Justin Hall. Then Hall gets tripped by the defender, Michael Stevens. As he gets tripped, referees apparently believe that was incidental contact. Ball sails over the head into the secondary, and then that leads to Jerry Elder coming up with the pick.
Even if he hadn't have gone down there, Anthony, it looked like it was
Justin Hall's 5'8".
It was going right to Elder anyway. Okay, so 58 seconds left. West Hills the tailback, but right to the air off the back foot. Touch pass, and what a touch pass it is! Down to the 14-yard line is Lee Morris. Feathery touch leads to a big gain of 34 yards.
Confidence necessary to call that play and complete that pass.
And Lee Morris stays down on the field. His first catch, and this is so well done by Bethel-Thompson. Just gets out the sand wedge, lifts it up high. Couldn't place it any better.
Maybe a little backspin on it as well. Into the waiting, wanting hands of Lee Morris. Felt like maybe there's some helium in the football because of the feathery touch of MBT. That's a big moment, Paul. I mean, and you know, where a lot of times the quarterback, maybe you're driving it in there because the intensity of the moment takes over. But the calm, cool, collected nature of MBT, able to throw the touch pass to Lee Morris III.
It's a passer's pass, and it puts the Breakers in the driver's seat, setting up for a field goal. And they have a field goal kicker in Matt Coughlin, who's 6 out of 6 this season.
Ford Willie. Here we go. Sunday.
High formation, West Hills cuts it back, and he will run inside the 5. Will he score? Got to the goal line. Touchdown, Breakers.
Looked like he thought about it for a moment.
He did. He thought about going down, and I wonder if he was asked to go down, if he was in that spot. The hesitation led to the touchdown, and the 6-point lead for New Orleans. 42 seconds left.
Strategically, tie game this late. A lot of times defenses will just make a call that you let the offense score. I don't believe that's what Houston was doing there. But as the clock's running down, there was an opportunity for New Orleans to finish the game as the last team with the football. Now about 40 seconds will remain when Houston gets the ball back.
Nice snap, good hold. Matt Coughlin takes care of the rest. So the lead is back to 7 points for the Breakers. And West Hills considered going down. That would have led to, you knew what would have come at that point, a couple of knees on the ball and then the field goal attempt. And again, you have a kicker, and Matt Coughlin was 5 for 5 in week 1, 1 for 1 today. So that would have been a good strategy. It's also hard to make yourself go down when you're that open.
Right. And a lot of times those conversations happen more once you get inside the 10, inside the 5, and you're thinking the opposing defense may definitively let you score. It did feel that there was a bit of hesitation from West Hills. In the least, he knew he wanted to run some clock and then decided to go ahead and put it in the paint. I mean, you can do worse things than to give your team the lead late in the fourth quarter, but strategically, especially with the chunk plays that have been picked up by the Houston Gamblers over and over again, you do wonder if this is enough time remaining for the Gamblers to get back in this game.
Looked like he was going to go down, but then Manny Bunch came at him, and it's just his instincts were to go.
Going across the field. Now, just beware of the back safety, and if he is, then you got the hit on the same side. That's fine, though. You just run by him. Run by the first level. Get down.
Anthony Ratliff Williams from the 9.
Come on, three. Come back.
That's back on the 30. And out to the 41-yard line, and that's where we'll see Kenji Bahar. We'll see what he can do. 36 seconds left, down 7.
2 timeouts, Paul. This feels like plenty of time.
And you really have reason to believe that he could do this because he's had some tremendous moments. He's also had 2 interceptions here in the second half.
The time. The only thing is the time. 85.
Justin Hall's been his top receiver. He wears number 17.
Ready? 180. Wow, there he is.
4-man rush. Incomplete to Anthony Ratliff Williams to bring up second down 10. Clock stops, 31 seconds left.
No flag on the play, and here we are at this stage of the fourth quarter. We get back to where the clock stops on incomplete passes.
They've had success, Anthony, throwing it short and over the middle with a run after the catch. And with 2 timeouts left, they still have time to do that.
Drop right, lasso. Oh, no. Hey, Mike 4. Hey, down 4, Mike 20. Yeah, box. We go, ready? 180. Wow, they shot.
Nice pocket. Over the middle. Intercepted. 3rd pick of the second half. And a late flag comes in as well. Linebacker Vontae Diggs.
It did appear the flag came after the takeaway. So after the change of possession, regardless of what the flag is, it would seem that New Orleans will maintain possession.
Copy. What number, guys?
17.
Ruling on the field was an interception.
Number 20.
After the interception, during the return, personal foul, face mask by the intercepting team, number 27. 15-yard penalty, first down, New Orleans.
Nice play by the linebacker Vontae Diggs. Kenji Bahar had so many quality series here this afternoon, but his last 4 passes, 0 for 4 with 2 picks.
And Diggs got a big frame, 6'2", long arms, really difficult to get into that zone coverage to be able to throw it over the head of a linebacker who's as deep as Diggs was in his drop.
McLeod Bethel-Thompson just takes a knee. Houston does have timeouts, but they won't take them. The final seconds will tick off, just like last week. The Breakers needed a late touchdown to take the lead, and that's exactly what they did. John DiFilippo and New Orleans moved to 2-0. Houston heartbroken at 0-2.
Fans are simply spiked player of the game, carried 18 times for 110 yards and 3 touchdowns, including the game winner.
Time now for the player of the game, brought to you by Simply Spikes. Out of the backfield for the Breakers, West Hills didn't play in week 1, but played so well today. 18 carries, 110 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns.
He established an imposing mentality for this Breakers offense. It was the passing attack for New Orleans in the game last week that led them to victory. Today was the offensive line and those churning legs of West Hills.
Quarters 2 through 4, all kinds of action and all kinds of scoring. The Breakers end up with a 38-31 win. Stick around for a John Wick movie marathon coming up next on USA Network, and don't miss more USFL action tonight when Memphis takes on Birmingham, 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox. And tomorrow it's New Jersey and Pittsburgh, 1 p.m. Eastern on NBC as well as Peacock. What a game in Birmingham to kick off week 2. McLeod Bethel-Thompson, a couple of touchdown passes, and West Hills 3 touchdown runs. One way to start the weekend. For Anthony Herron, Lewis Johnson, and our entire crew, I'm Paul Burmeister saying thanks for being with us, and so long from Birmingham.
You've been listening to
that as a black analogy for the black community. When one individual starts to ascend and get near the top, the other ones just grab it and pull it back down. So crabs.
Is that quite common?
Yes,
this is
unfortunately it's a thing that happens in the American black diaspora. But you know what? I think, and this is going to be the most random transition you've ever heard. When we do talk about crabs in the bucket, Will, and we do talk about the black diaspora, we need to also celebrate the successes that we do see and feel and exhibit, because you actually completed your AJGA event over the weekend. And as an onlooker, first, let me apologize to you for not making it there. Dad life and other things I had to do.
We'll say apologize.
Yeah, she just had some water in the way. She would have been there otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of you, dog. Like the fact that you took the AJGA event on. You had the DJs out there. Kids was talking about how they wasn't as nervous on the first tee because they could walk up there kind of like, let me get that. I'm just proud, and I think Henny, in our society, we don't give people flowers enough, and Will, it's so funny. Will had an AJGA event at the same time was doing a PGA Tour Originals, recording a podcast, and planning a junior golf tour. Like, bro, like, I don't know how the hell you doing all this stuff, but I'm so proud of you, man. Let's talk through the tournament, man. How was it?
Man, it was beautiful. And I say the fact